projects. Thank you, Arcafort. Thank you, Creative Europe Malta. Thank you, Creative Europedia. And thank you, Edu at Playcon. There is so much to do, so much to see at this year's edition of Playcon. My name is Frank, and I cannot be more thrilled to be once again your main host on this stage. Now, we're getting ready to get started with the Malta Madness League of Legends. Our two teams, our two finalists are already on the stage. They're Team Agony and Team Eversio. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask the two captains to come and join me next to me for a quick comment before we get going with the finals. So can I have the two captains, please? The two captains, can I have them come and join me? In the meantime, I'm going to give you a quick brief on the prize pool. It's going to be 800 euros going towards first place, 600 euros going towards second place. It's going to be a best of 3 tournament. So we have Jake from Team Agony, and then we have Luca from Eversio. Jake, how are you feeling?
I think everyone just excited to start now. We've been waiting for quite some time, and we're excited to start.
I mean, what was the last message you gave to the team, you know, as you start getting ready to go into this final? I mean, any final words of wisdom, or let's just do what we always do?
I mean, we're here to, I think, win it all, so we're just ready to not win.
Eyes on the prize.
Yes.
Okay, so, Luca, Jake seems to be pretty set on winning this one. I mean, are you guys going to give them a good challenge? What do you think?
I mean, I think for them it will be an upset. They've yet to win a final against us. This matchup has been the same for the past 2-3 years, so we'll see on the rift.
Confident?
Yes, of course.
Both seem to be very confident, so once again, thank you very much. I'll ask you to make your way to your teams. I will be now passing over to the casters, to Yansin and CardonaCasts, who will take care of telling us all about all that's happening in this final. Over to you guys.
Hello guys. Welcome to Playcon 2024, and it's me, CardonaCasts, with Yansin here.
Hello, thank you, Luke, for introducing me. It's been very nice coming into Playcon. It's like a video gamer's dream, topped off with popcorn. So what else can you expect? Like Luca Iglos was saying, Eversio Agony Classic, if you follow League of Legends here competitively in Malta, these two teams have always been coming towards the final. Hopefully some new competition, but this ensures that we will have a great game for today, as the games are usually quite close, and let's say the last time they faced off was quite a nail-biter. So I'm curious to see what will go down today. Any other comments about the teams, perhaps?
I really want the games to go 3 games. I just want peak League of Legends. I want us to have an entertaining game. Especially, I just want fun games. I want close matches, mosh pits, fighting all the time. You know, just make games entertaining. Give us content, basically.
I want a quiet 30 minutes of farming, trading objectives, splitting map, first blood before Baron. Yes, this is the ideal peak League of Legends. But more likely than not, we might have some early game action, of course. Both teams know each other very well. I would like to say for this event, we had 8 teams sign up, which is very nice to see. I wish there were more teams perhaps participating in these types of events more often, so we can have some new faces to interact with, some new play styles perhaps. Both teams, they have a very defined play style. Eversio, this team over here, typically plays more for macro-oriented plays or for split push. What does this mean? It means they try to find advantages in the map and take them over, while Agony typically are fighting more as a team. They tend to also fight together very coordinated, right? They know who needs to go in and these steps. Not to say Eversio don't. They have also great team fight power. They tend to win the games without necessarily needing to go full on into a team fight. That's the main difference.
Yeah, so we're just pointing out the biggest strengths of these teams, and I completely agree with you. I think Agony's team fights are magnificent, and Eversio's side lane pressure has been really good throughout the entire tournament. I mean, both teams have went 2-0 in their semi-final games, and this shows that both teams are pretty good, and not more than pretty good. They're really excellent in their play, and they excel at what they're doing. So let's see how this finals goes. I'm really excited for it. It's the Playcon finals. I think it's one of the most expected tournaments for any team in Malta. If you play League of Legends at the professional level in Malta, you really want to win this tournament. It has so much pride to it, also so much prestige, right? Winning the Playcon finals. So fully excited for it. And I think both teams, hopefully the nerves don't get to them. They're on a big stage today. They need to show up. And also, let's talk a bit about the history. We said that, Agony and Eversio are classics. Why are they classics,
Well, just considering last Playcon, for example, it was also an Agony versus Eversio lineup. Eversio did sorry, my apologies. Agony actually did take it. And I think I need to correct myself again, because it was valid unit actually last year. So I'm sorry about that. But last tournament, Agony and Eversio did play. That's what I was thinking about. This was also a Malta Madness organized event, which for those that don't know, Malta Madness is working alongside this event of Playcon to organize these events. It would be nice to have more. We have 2 at the moment every year, and the one that we played before this, it was Eversio and Agony once again. Eversio did win it. Agony had all, like everything they could to win the games, but did get outmaneuvered in certain games at the time. So I'm curious to see if they manage to brush up on those skills and put it to the test today, getting their revenge in what is the second event, right, of the year. Let's hope so.
Yep, and also I think to provide a bit of context, correct me if I'm wrong here, but Agony and Eversio finals have always been Eversio-sided.
Majority maybe, but
the majority of the
I
times.
think Agony went to more finals in general as well, because as a team, Agony have been together for much longer, way longer. The current Eversio team is newer compared to Agony, because Eversio, for those that know, have been on this island competing for over 12 to 13 years, I think. So that's something to point out. Finding the skilled players, in my opinion, almost single-handedly carrying the entire esports scene in terms of finding young youths who they believe are really good players, and they give them a home and where to play, essentially, and they help them get to the best point they can. Agony do not have that luxury, but with that saying, they actually managed to bring it to the same level, even without management. So I'm really, everyone should be proud of such an achievement. And I'm really hopeful we get a longer series, maybe 1-1.
Yes. I mean, a 3-game series would just be giving us all that we ever want. I think all the spectators here want, maybe except the people who are supporting certain teams. But if you're here for the finals and League of Legends, you just want to watch some really good gameplay, you're here for a 3-game amazing series, hopefully. Something else, like, I feel like this is a bit of a challenge for Agony, perhaps, because from what I've said, it's always been Eversio Agony finals. Agony wins the first game. That's how it usually goes. And then Eversio is always able to find the other 2 games to, win the series in the end. Let's see if today Agony are here to rewrite history and, say that was in the past. We're writing a new future, or if history will repeat itself.
No, I'm sure they're going to turn up. That's something we can guarantee for today. Not sure what's taking so long with the draft. I know we had some small technical issues, should be on their way soon. I'm sure everyone is feeling nervous back there, and as more time goes, we might have a bit of a funny game one if nerves keep piling on,
If it's a funny game one, means that there's going to be a lot of action. I'm all for it. Sign me up right now. I want it. So, we were also speaking about, you just said how Eversio has kind of a new lineup. This lineup is quite new, whereas Agony's lineup has been this for quite some time. But also Agony have role swapped a lot of their players, no? Can you speak about the changes that were being made?
Yes, certainly. Usually, or at least in the last event, we did see Living Dream make it in the ADC spot. For this event, we have Pullu joining us. He has played on the Agony roster for quite some time, usually in the support role, while Iconic is actually taking over the support spot. Typically, he's one of the better ADCs, but he is a main support, so I'm sure he's going to show us why he deserves that spot. On the other hand, they do have Grantless, who's a great top laner as well, and Varsal always consistent in jungle. Agony lineup certainly is up for the task for today.
Yep.
Yes.
I think that we're going to draft very
Let's
soon.
hope so.
So let's get into this. Let's start the matches. And we're in draft, guys. We have Eversio on blue side, Agony on red side. Let's see what Eversio will prioritize in their bench side on blue side. Let's see. I'm expecting here maybe some target bans on blue side. I'm also maybe expecting, like, I don't know, man.
I'd rather be home anyway.
We see Aurora first ban. Makes a lot of sense. I think quite a strong champion in this patch. What do you expect the bans to come out here?
So for those that don't know, Agony have Aurora as a champion. They can slot into top or mid. A very strong champion. She can engage, she can disengage. She deals damage, AoE damage. It's like a bit crazy of a champ right now, so it's high priority. Banning both Aurora and Skarner here makes sense. We might see another jungle ban from Eversio. While on the side of Agony, Yone, Ziggs, very targeted bans, of course. Drakur, an amazing Yone player, and Awaken equally on Ziggs. Ahri ban here, so we are targeting the mid lane, while Agony do go for the double Drakur ban with Yasuo and Yone. We see Eversio team right now thinking maybe what's the pick here, what do they go on their first pick. We want an OP champ, flexible champ, something maybe multi-role or that defines the current meta. And we're thinking about Amumu. Okay.
I mean, that's not what I expected, but it is a pick for sure. Amumu jungle on the Starforger hands, most likely a really good pick. But I don't know, is Amumu a first pick champion? I don't think it is. For me, I usually pick it, I think, 2, 3, or even 4, 5. There are higher priorities which you can do.
I think Amumu makes sense here if they want to give his laners the opportunity to potentially counter-pick. So going blind with Amumu is like saying, it's fine, it's Amumu, I'll press Alt. You guys can actually pick your champs. Oh, well, maybe we're gonna bait it out. Is it Amumu support, maybe?
That would be interesting. That would be some cooking on the side of Eversio, and I'm all for it. If we have a Mumu on the jungle, or support, sorry, that's like them showing up, like prep that they have not shown, but it is switched to the Galio. So a flex could be both mid, could be top as well. So let's see how they play it out.
We have a lot of anti-magic right now on Eversio, so maybe they're expecting a lot of magic damage from Agony. Agony right now not really showing all their cards. It is Cork is in Zhao, potentially Nar, very AD heavy into the anti-magic damage of Eversio. Luke, please take it away. We see Darius there being picked.
I mean, this is Iglos Darius, but it is picked blind, and Nar is a big counter. Sometimes with Darius, it is you can get away with like the range form, and then when you go into the Mega Nar, you can use that ultimate for team fights. Still pretty strong. If it got locked in, I don't know if you would blind always Darius. For me, Darius is a 4-5, depending on the team comp. We see the Vayne top lane. Okay, they're saying top lane is gonna be either lost for this Vayne or we're just gonna win through top. Darius cannot lane. Darius is not allowed to get any minions, nothing. This Darius is just gonna have a hard time. We are seeing some bans coming through. What do you think about this Vayne pick, man? I think it's gonna cook.
One of the strengths of Grandless is that he is very capable to play a very wide range of champions. Vayne into Darius, very Vayne favored, but it also requires a lot of jungle from both sides, right? Your jungle doesn't want the Vayne to get ahead, while Vayne's jungler wants to help her get ahead, right? So we might be seeing a lot of top lane action. I'm predicting maybe safer side bot lanes, some type of engage support to play around top side grubs or something like this. Let's see, we have the last two bans.
Not a problem.
That's LeBlanc, right?
I think yes. I'm not sure with the voice lines, but
it's MF, not a problem.
Oh my god, yes. I like it. I like it. It seems like both teams are drafting for entertainment. We see possibly a Nunu, which could be both jungler support, and we are seeing a Vayne top lane against the Darius. Like, whoa, this is going to be... Both teams are sending it, basically.
And engage support Leona here being bent out from Eversio. They know Iconic is really good Brom and Leona. Last two picks here, you know, it might be an AP bot laner from Agony, or maybe they double down, go for another AD. Tahm Kench makes sense to protect them, a great Tahm Kench player for sure, Iconic. I'm curious now, what do we respond? Smolder seems good. He can get that scaling for sure. They do have a lot of things to protect him.
I will. This Smolder here would offer a lot of scaling. I really like it, as well as like when this Tahm Kench for me is actually a really good pick. Let's talk a bit about Tahm Kench first. I think this Tahm Kench is able to protect the Corki, is able to protect the Vayne, and their AD carry, which could still be Vayne, to be honest. We just assume this Vayne is top lane. This Vayne could easily be AD carry. I doubt it, but let's see if I'm wrong. If this Vayne is like top lane, you basically really want to protect your carries. And what better protection than to have a champion which can just swallow the champion, and your Sin who's gonna get targeted, and then the person is just safe. So Tahm Kench, really good pick coming here on the side of Agony. We see the draft now finalized with Rakan, Zaya bot lane, and Sivir, I think, picked for Pullu. What do you want to say about this?
It's great. I mean, into Galio, Amu, you kind of want a lot of AD damage. They will not have the greatest way. Well, I take it back, sorry. Corki and Sivir can certainly hold lanes, but maybe on side lane, it's not going to be ideal, because Darius can potentially dive pretty much any one of them later on in the game, right? So they have to play around just clearing the waves when they crash and potentially teleporting, right? Keep in mind, Darius, he's going to run Flash Ghost, so teleport advantage is definitely on Agony side. Yeah, and did they swap the Galio and Amumu?
I don't
I hope so, right? Yes, okay.
Yes, they did. So
I
we
thought
do
there
have
was Smite Galio. I wouldn't be surprised from Starforger, to be honest, to something like that.
That would have been some too much cooking. We would call that overcooking, burning your stove. And now we're getting into the draft until the game starts. I will say I do think that Agony's draft is... I would prefer to be playing on Agony's side. You have so much wave clear. The Corki offers a lot of wave clear. You have Sivir, which is basically farm until 400 CS and then just win the game. You have so much wave clear on Sivir. And then also with Vayne, maybe they lack a bit of a tank. That's why Tahm Kench was picked, and you have Xin Zhao, I guess, as like your other tank. But you're still going to struggle a lot, I will say, to find good engages with the current draft. On the side of Eversio, I think their engage is interesting, I would say. It's more if Darius gets in, Galio will then follow. Let's see, Zaya Rakan also has some really good engage and disengage. Rakan is a really good support champion to do both. He can easily overstep to get vision and then just EU back away. He is very slippery in fight, so Rakan could also make or break the game. Let's see what happens.
So all eyes here on Varsal, on Team Agony. He needs to get his ADCs ahead, protect them from early aggression, dives, etc. If they do manage to break out, they're going to have a great mid-game, a great control over the game. Eversio, on the other hand, they can just farm, start the objective, and if Agony push into them, they have a good re-engage, good disengage. It really can go both ways, honestly. Again, like as usual, Agony Eversio draft really good comps. The Galio and Amumu being picked up quite early on in the draft did mean that Agony just goes straight into AD. I don't know how that was thought up from Eversio. Maybe they were expecting this, or maybe they thought, you know, if we do that, they will definitely go Magic bot lane, right? And that's not what happened. So I'm not sure what's the idea. Maybe we can ask them after. But I'm excited for sure. Let's see.
Let's see. Game still loading. And who do you think wins the scaling battle here? I mean,
it's definitely Agony. I think, especially with the Corki buffs. Oof. That champ hits like a truck right now. And they have Vayne as well. Like you can't get through that. The only disadvantage they have, they don't have that much of a front line. Tom Kench, he's like pseudo tank because of his E ability, giving him basically 2 health bars. But he is support, so he's not going to have that much gold, that much stats. He'll be good enough to get someone out of a situation. But once Xin Zhao gets low, Tom Kench maybe is out of there. They can't really fight the fights, I think.
And I think this is also a really good way to counter Darius to some degree. As like Darius now needs to decide which champion he needs to lock down. You know, you cannot kill all 3 AD carries that are currently in this game, so he needs to choose one. And you know, they might kill one, but the other 2 will still be alive at the end of the day.
You can see on your side the game is paused actually, so some slight issue. Not really sure what it could be, but yeah.
Until we get the word of it, we'll keep yapping about the draft. I mean, I think Agony actually just want to sit back and farm, and I think it's kind of on Eversio's hands that they need to be the ones to be finding picks on site and not let it get to that late game where you have 3 AD carries against you. And Vayne is quite slippery, to be honest, especially if she's running Ghost. I would love to see if she's running Ghost. And we could see like a Zeus Vayne in here on an Agony, right? You know, the classic one. Would be amazing, I think, to see. But I think a lot of pressure, as you agree with you on the junglers here, both Starforger and Varsal have, as we see them on the screen, right? Both of them have a lot of pressure. They need to perform, they need to cover their lanes. For Varsal, it's covering your AD carries, making sure these lanes don't fall behind. On the side of the Starforger, it's really crucial that for your laners to kind of get a bit of a lead, especially this Darius, who's against the Vayne. You know, it's a really annoying matchup. If no one ever played, if you never played against a Vayne top as a melee jungler, you hate it, right? This is a solo queue matchup where sometimes you just ban Vayne after you lose to a Vayne where you're unable to farm a single minion. It is that tilting, man. And let's see if iGloss is able to keep his cool, play it correctly, maybe lose a bit of CS, maybe be able to play the weak side, and Starforger, his parting here is going to be really crucial, as well as Farsal's. You're a jungler yourself. How do you think the parting should be for these players?
If we're not playing for top side, I don't know. But giving Darius a bit of an early game lead into this Vayne matchup is very ideal, especially if you can blow her flash or ghost. Vayne is a sitting duck. Anytime she plays her Q or E wrongly, Darius can just rake her in. Even Amumu ganks, like, you have 2 Qs, right? So if he hits one, Vayne flashes, boom, maybe we hit the second Q. It's a bit dangerous, but if it does get ahead, like that 2-3 item spike, sometimes even if you leave her weak side, you just forget about her for the rest of the game. Like Smolder, she just comes in later and just one-shots everyone slowly but surely, but she does do it. Maybe a bit faster than Smolder. But yep, I think both teams have a great draft. We just need to see how it plays. Top PC crash for those. Maybe you can't see it on the big screen, but that's what happened. Everyone's saying they're ready. Game continues. Let's go. Come on, give me some clapping,
teams, guys.
For the 2 teams. Get their nerves out. Let's play some League of Legends.
We do see Gruntless running that goes Vayne. We wanted to see it. This Vayne is going to be very slippery. I think crucial flashes here that need to be tracked are the Starforger, Amumu flash that can lock down the backline, and as well as like all the AD carry flashes that I think are going to be really crucial. So summoners here for a team fight are going to be crucial on both sides. Severe and Vayne both running Ghost. They can be very slippery. Awaken also running Ghost. So they're not playing for lane. It seems like they're all playing for that team fight, and let's see how it goes.
Yes, Vayne, no cleanse here. Even on Severe, we have Ghost. It might get riskier later on. There's a lot of easy CC to hit on Team Eversio, which could get punished, but we'll have to wait and see how the team fights play later on, right?
The thing with Vayne, I think, Gruntless is thinking, listen, if they can't catch me, they can't CC me, I'm just going to run as fast as possible, right? And I think that's what they want to do. We do see no invades, no decoys, both teams taking it slowly as the game starts out.
Yep. should be a bit slower of a game until we get to top side. In fact, we see both junglers kind of positioning themselves for a potential top gank. If bot lane gets a bit of action early, we might see level 3 from both sides. It depends on what they're thinking about, right? But Sivir Tom should get the push here into Zyra Khan just because Sivir is just so good at shoving these waves. So they should get the level 2 priority for sure. Meanwhile, mid lane, Corki does have the advantage in that Galio lane. Tom Kench, a small engage there on the level 2, just showing that, hey, we're level 2 before you.
And also we're speaking about how junglers should path. They're both pathing from bot side to top side, so it seems like both junglers will be playing for the top lane. I'm expecting both junglers to full clear, since Zhao should have a bit of a lead, and because of that, maybe he will be first to top lane and is able to find something. Let's see how it goes.
It's not always guaranteed, although we do see Zhao clearing right now a bit, one camp quicker than Amumu. But Amumu should have a better clear speed a bit later on as the game goes. So if we're just left to just farming, Amumu should slowly get ahead, but both junglers here want to accelerate their lanes for sure. No one wants to fall behind in this game from both sides.
We do see Darius, I think, in a better position here, where he can have his lane frozen in a very horrible state, where he needs to stay.
Preparing here,
Yep.
he does skip golems. Do they feel this coming? The fail condemned. Flash ghost used by both Darius and Vayne. The chase down does not lead to a kill in the end. A bit unlucky for Agony. Well played by Arglios, dodging that. Not even needing to proc phase rush.
Yeah, I mean, Vayne can just let that wave sit there. I think it's going to be a bit horrible for Iglos. He did lose both summoners, so right now Grantless have a flash advantage. However, Varsal did lose his flash, so perhaps now he loses a bit of that gank potential. Let's see how it goes. Amumu is able to get both crabs, but he does script his frog, so let's see how it goes.
The advantage Varsal had there traded for the top gank. It's very crucial that Vayne did not flash there, because I think that would not be worth for them, being that Vayne really does want to play a bit safer here, but they also get the wave.
We do see a taunt coming here from Drakor, but Amumu also here to cover, flash coming out, and first blood is secured on the side of Eversio.
Very well played there, finding the opening to gank this Corki. Flash is also down on Corki. Let's see if they repeat gank mechanics perhaps here, or if they just let Galio get a bit more ahead and focus on other lanes.
Let's say also, crucially, if Galio has to use teleport to come back into lane, or perhaps he is able to come back in time. I don't think he will. Corki does expand the teleport after that play. Let's see if he decides to push. Drake also spawning, and Grubs will soon also be on the map. With 3 seconds on Dragon, I think both junglers are now be potting onto this bot side. We are seeing Agony shove the bot wave, and I think they will look for a reset to them, maybe contest Dragon.
Yeah, I'm not sure who goes for what. Eversio typically like the Grubs, but there were cases where they do not play for them as well, so I can't really predict who goes for what. I think Dragons are maybe a little bit more in favor of Agony due to their late game scaling, but whether they can contest them right now or not, that's another question. Mid lane, Bramble Vest on Galio, while we still have TP on Galio as well. Top lane isn't going to make a difference in this Dragon fight. Overall, it might be a bit Agony favored, but both ATCs did get a back. So it depends maybe who starts it.
And also something I want to point out is the lane advantages that Agony are building up. We see Vayne getting a CS lead. We also see Corki on almost a 20 CS lead. You know, they have the favorable matchups. They're able to punish their opponents whenever they woke up. They trade really well. So perhaps because of this, Agony might be able to find actually both objectives. And as I say that, Vayne might be a bit caught out here. The condemn away for Darius. Darius exhausted, will find the entire Agony team inside of him. Galio here tries to find a double knock-up, but now he finds 4 members of Agony trying to kill him. The taunt will come through on Zhao, but he goes into the wall, and Agony able to find 2 picks.
Yeah, they were preparing to gank top lane before the grabs, but Agony were already there in response. Darius gets caught out. We used Galio to try and save him a bit too late. Amumu could not re-engage on that. Maybe if they were a bit quicker on it, this is the strength that Agony do pose. They seem to be really quick on these rotations. They know who needs to go where and what and how to engage the fights. Always playing cleanly, so I'm really glad to see this play. They tried to gank bot lane, but Sivir does escape the dive in time.
Yeah, well played there from Pullu, understanding, listen his weak side. Both Rakana and Mumu are off the map. I don't know where they are. I should play it safe, take the recall. They could be diving me anytime soon. It's better I lose just one wave here. He will buy the item and now he's going back to lane. He doesn't lose that much. Yes, Eversio are able to get Drake off that, but like, I think right now Agony in a really good position. They like how it's played. They were able to get 2 grabs as well, so let's see how it plays out, how Agony are able to use a small lead to snowball it into an even bigger advantage at the end of the game.
Yep. Nice rotation there by Team Eversio, getting Dragon, trading, of course, topside objective. They do want to farm maybe a bit for now. As we can see, Amumu finishing his camps. No real objective until grab spawn.
We do see that maybe here we might see an engage as soon as Rakan reaches level 6. And the support level timer is usually crucial. We do see the tankiness of Tahm Kench coming through, as you see the HP difference. Agony seem to be tracking the jungler really well, Pink's coming out exactly where he is. So both teams seem to, right now, call it a bit of a chill moment. No objectives around the map, there's nothing to fight for, nothing that you really need to do, right? Just farm it up. We do see a flash come here from Tahm Kench, and Rakan very low will be picked off by Iconic, and maybe you wanted that to continue severe, but still, any gold on your main front line is always really good. Starforger here to cover. Let's see if anything happens. He tries and finds the stun on the Sivir, is able to find it before Sivir is able to spell shield. Pullo will fall down to the Starforger, and it's a 1-for-1 trade at the end of the day.
Yeah, a bit unlucky, Prower getting picked off just there. They didn't expect it. Amumu was patting there. Could have been maybe a bit more on a better timer. But all in all, getting that kill on Sivir is very good. Xayah is out CSing as a result. 11 CS up right now for our Eversio bot lane. However, as you mentioned, Tahm Kench getting that kill is not the worst person you would want that kill on. Getting a bit more tankiness for this Tahm is going to be good in the AAA ADC lineup they have.
I would also maybe see some fancy Xin Zhao builds, you know, understand that like you don't really need to go that much damage, you need to be the front line, you need to survive. Perhaps Varsar will decide to cook. I'll let him be the master chef.
He's going Sunder, right? Sunder Sky here. A great item on Zing, giving him a little bit more pseudo tankiness, sort of, right? Healing him up. Xin Zhao, one of these champions, if he can get early eclipse, I'm not thinking he will, but if he gets it early, he can pretty much one-shot every champion at a certain point. But, top lane.
Top lane seems to be something going on there. Tahm Kench and Amumu both there. Exhaust will go on to the Darius. Vayne forced to flash, ult goes out immediately. Amumu will miss his first Q. Galio here deciding to join the fight. Will find the knock-up onto Tahm Kench, but Vayne was swallowed. Vayne also knocked up. Starforger able to find the Vayne. Darius very low. Corki now here to back up the team. Xin Zhao also here. They need to find the picks back. Corki just free-frying. Igros in the bush trying to find a way out. Varsal trying to find Amumu. Amumu will be picked off on side. Cork will find the flash, but Galio with a very nice block there. And I think Darius will be able to make it away, and at the end of the day, it is a 2-for-1.
Great pickup there by Eversio, a great answer by Agony, but now instantly engaging on bot lane. This Sivir is left alone as Tahm Kench did roam. The engaged gets disengaged by Sivir, ulting away, giving her a burst of move speed. However, Eversio now have control over the wave, which is great for their bot lane, considering they got 2v1 in top. While Amumu does finish Liandry's Torment, a huge item for Amumu, definitely going to help them, but in a direct response, Agony instantly go pick up those grabs. So if we ever get a one-team fight, it's going to be like 2-3 towers gone. and a lot of gold goes over to Agony. Eversio need to think about these next team fights to make sure they don't lose them, okay? And on Agony's side, if they win them, let's push.
Yes, I mean, with 5 grabs, those towers will just melt. Let's see if maybe they're able to get some sort of tower plates from it. Perhaps they decide to trade Dragon. You know, in games like this, second Dragon for a team is usually not the most crucial. And what you can do is you decide to trade Dragon for a top tower or a lot of plates in both mid and top. And when that happens, you can really snowball the lead you already have. For Eversio, the saving grace is the Xayah, this awaken on Xayah. Like, the only, I think, Eversio member which is currently in front of the opposition, right? So they are on 30 CS in front. Galio and Darius both struggling a bit in their respective lanes. They are getting a bit countered due to the way they were picked. We do see a root coming here, but I think this bot lane till now, I don't expect any fighting. Perhaps we can see a punish come through. Starforger is spotted on that bush, and we do see both teams trying to gear themselves up for the next fight. As we see, the Drake is spawning here. Both teams trying to find a pick, perhaps, to make it. Let's see.
I was excited for the fight. But yeah, the AoE damage right now in the mid game by Eversio's team comp is just simply too much. Agony make the right call here to take it away. Leave Dragon for Eversio while we leave Vayne solo, getting tower plates. Galio forced to TP, in fact, to stop that. But we do get Mountain Drake, right? One of the better ones. So,
which is now actually Camtech Soul, I think. Yeah, so they are able to get their second Drake. Eversio now have the win condition of, you know, let's just get Camtech Soul. Camtech Soul, I think, is not what Eversio wanted. They would have loved any of the other souls that were left up. Hextech, Infernal, and Ocean, I think, much preferred.
Okay.
Camtech Soul is one of the weakest ones, but I think you have something to say about that.
yes, so as things are, I think this is very good for Agony. Camtech Dragon in general will make you a bit tankier when you're lower, and since they don't have maybe the best frontline for these ADCs, now that they will start getting more damage on these carries, they will be able to contest these Drakes. And if they get 3 or 4, maybe, who knows, of this Dragon, it's going to provide a lot of tankiness, a lot of extra shielding for this Tahm Kench, and healing, of course, for all their lifesteal items, etc.
We, I think, also might see a Rift Herald fight. However, crucially, we do see Eyegloss has not completed his first item yet, which does put him in a disadvantage against this Vayne, as Blade of the Ruined King completed. So let's see if Eversio still decide to find this. We also are seeing that Xayah is being zoned off this tower. Agony making use of their 5 grabs to start getting some damage on this bottom outer turret, perhaps able to chunk half of it, and if they're able to collect it, they might decide to try first tower for Rift Herald. I would not hate to see that. The first tower does provide a lot of gold, especially if that gold is going on your Sivir. The wave clear on Sivir late game, once you stacks 2 items, is really good. And you would remove a lot of the possible push. You know, you were saying how Eversio are the side lane kings. The best way to counter side lane is with wave clear. If you don't have any wave, you cannot hit the tower. As we see, a possible engage coming on the Xayah, Galio all being forced out, Exhaust being forced out, Xayah getting chunked out. Pullu will pick up the first kill, and as 2 members of Eversio are trying to find Pullu. Pullu does fall at the back, but this is the cost of Rakan. Galio also perhaps caught out here, realizing he's dead. We try and fight Tahm Kench. Tahm Kench going very low, and Dracor able to find the pick onto this Tahm Kench, making it a 2-for-3 trade. However, we do see Rift Herald being used at top, and Eversio really good at punishing the overcommitment of members of Agony and bot side, and they will be able to collect 2 towers on the top side.
Yeah, I'm not really sure who's ahead from that. The gold says Agony is by 1k right now, so I guess we'll trust the gold. But all in all, Eversio had the plan there to re-engage on bot lane. They knew, like, hey, our Xayah's prone condition to get dived, so we're going to send Galio and Rakan. But maybe they should have played it in a way that doesn't lead to that much carnage, considering they also had jungle pressure, right? But in retaliation, 2 towers on Amumu and Darius, that's pretty big. Darius definitely going to hold back these AD carries if he gets a flank on them. That's one of their team fight win conditions, right? With Amumu from one side, Darius sandwiching the other. Rakan has free roam to jump between the two sides, ulting everyone in the middle. So looks good.
Yeah, if Eversio got that, I mean, at that point, you're dead if you're Agony. Agony just need to have good vision. They cannot allow that. They need to remove any like deep wards that Eversio might have. So support role Holy here, quite crucial if you say me, you know. We might see something potential happen in the mid lane. However, I think both teams just no waves here, no real contest. I think the wave clear on both sides is at the moment really good. So the waves will almost always die instantly unless a pick is found.
Very disciplined from Agony here, knowing people are missing. And okay, small engage on Severe, nothing special, gets shielded.
Good chunk amount of damage. So
yep. We can see here that Agony have that patience. They know Xin can't help us, so even if we think it's a kill, we're not going to go for it, right? And now they're looking for maybe a counter setup. They know Darius was bot. That's who they were afraid of. But now that Darius is missing, perhaps they'll start to think about it again.
Yeah, I think if this Darius shows, you will see Agony immediately change their position on the map. But while this Darius is in fog of war, there is no way possible that like Agony decides to push mid, because you can lose so much so quickly. And we are seeing a lot of trades going out. This Halbar is becoming low on the side of Eversio. Might be crucial in any upcoming teamfight, as the next dragon is spawning.
Something most people don't know about Tahm Kench, but the larger size he is, his Q, the tongue hit, gets larger too. So,
we are seeing teleports coming through. Rakan might be a bit caught out, forced to use his ult early. Xinzhao flashing, Amumu finding a 4-man ult. And we see here complete chaos in the mid lane. Xinzhao is trying to hit Rakan, trying to find a knockup, is able to find the Tahm Kench. Igros gets a double kill, gets the shot down, is on a quadra kill, and they stole the pentakill, but Igros crucially finding the quadra kill, and this is why Darius is never allowed to this guy. This guy can just solo carry a game on his own. Agony were looking so good, but Eversio decide, no, this is not your game to win. We will fight you on this Drake. We'll find the 4-man Amumu ulti, the Starforger completely carrying that, allowing Iglos to find a beautiful quadra with Awaken sealing away his pentakill.
Amazingly played there. If it's an testament, it's ADCs versus Darius, but if we're going to have a big mosh pit fight like that, Darius is going to come out ahead, right? No real CC options from the side of Agony to keep him at check. They might need to think about Tahm ulti just for Darius to keep him away. But the moment he gets those stacks, especially later on with level 16 Darius ult, oh boy, no one is gonna tank a full stack Darius ult on Team Agony. So they need to, the engage was really good, but the counter engage on Eversio side with Zaya, Rakan, Galio, Amumu, so many things you need to look into, so much CC, so many mixed damage as well, giving free reign to Zaya and Darius to walk around, deal their damage and all that chaos, right?
The good news, I guess, if you're Agony, is you look at the flashes that are available on Eversio, and Eversio basically don't have any more summoners, except for a flash on the side of Drakor. Korkin might be a bit caught out here. You're not going to win that 1v1 against the Darius, no way. You're just going to bleed to that, and there, I think, hopefully, I'm able to find the kill.
Unlucky.
Unlucky. I think Iglos is...
It's that time of the month.
Yeah, it's that time of the month where you go against the Darius and you're just like, what, man, not again. We do see here, Agony were able to secure the top tower with that play, but now they have a Darius pushing on side and no one answering on him. We do see Rakan with forced out here. Tahm Kench needs to swallow the Xinzhao to get him out of there. Good Zaya route comes through. As Darius is knocking down the bottom tower, a mid-fight happens, which Eversio are loving because they just found 3 picks. What? We do Starforger maybe went a bit too deep. That taunt coming out there on the Sivir. Sivir needs to kite this Galio away. Xinzhao trying to 1v2 this Galio, though this Galio has a massive HP bar. And even though Eversio's health bars are blinking, they're able to make it away. Crucially there, the Torn Mail does not allow Zaya to Severe to continue free hitting, and the Frozen Heart, just so much AD, so much armor, AD being denied. It's hard, man. How, like, when you have a full AD comp, you just build armor and like, what are we gonna do now?
Step one is maybe relax a bit. We don't need to tower dive, Rakan, Amumu, you know, for just a mid tower. Usually we're playing more composed on Agony's side, right? We just push that wave, go maybe to Baron, something like this. Maybe they're feeling desperate for making some action here with 3 dragons on Eversio side. They try gank Darius here, he does have phase rush. It's 4v1. Let's see if Luca manages to come out of this. Galio TP ultis on top. Darius is so tanky at the moment. If he gets another Q off, big heals. The counter engage from Eversio, pretty much cleaning house. We need to think about this stuff, Agony, because the re-engage potential here on Eversio is so strong. They do take down the Darius, but in the end, it is going to be their ace. Sivir actually is still alive, but it is a free Baron over for Eversio. Well played.
I think this game, Iglos is just trying to collect all the quadra kill. He now got a triple kill. The only thing remaining is a pentakill, man. He's going to collect all the kills possible. He is an 8-2 Darius, a very scary Darius. If you're able to get a Q on your AD carries, if you're able to find resets on your guillotine, we're saying how this Darius, once he's level 16, he's going to be a horror. I think this Darius, with 8 kills, is a horror. Like, that man's play completed, allowing him more movement speed to reach the backline. Stride Breaker, almost third item, like halfway there, so should have it for the next Drake fight, hopefully. And if not, it's still a big threat. On the side of Agony, you're now finding yourself with 3 AD carries that can get one shot by this Darius. So like, do you decide to fight this now if you're Agony? You don't have engage, you don't have a way to check on this dragon, which is controlled completely by Eversio. So how do you ever walk into this jungle?
Yeah, it's a bit hard, but if they have to do something, it has to be before Darius is 16. There's just 2 more levels, because this level 9 Tahm Kench is not holding that level 16 Darius out for sure.
I mean, the Tahm Kench can only like do so much, right? And that's why Agony is, we said, they're lacking in their engage. They're lacking in the front line because they decided to pick 3 AD carries. If they didn't lose the fight when they had the lead, yes, perhaps they could have snowballed the game and lived for long enough. But now you're gonna be giving up the soul on the side of Eversio, and if they have soul, Camtech soul.
Yeah, that Darius is never going down basically.
Yes.
Camtech soul is gonna give you more stats the lower HP you go. It also gives you some form of tenacity and everything a bruiser wants, essentially. It also gives extra damage when you're low, so on top of Darius Q later on it's going to hurt like a lot. But there's no real answer here for Agony. Eversio got ahead, they have Baron, they're shoving your lanes. You need to respond to those waves. It's slowly going to bleed out the game until the next fight, potentially being the last one.
Yes,
hopefully
I
we learn
agree.
from this what we need to take. I would love to see a good fight here. We do have 3 items on Corki, 3 items on Sivir soon as well. In comparison to Eversio, some of the items are still maybe not complete, but it's hard/close to impossible, I think, right now.
Especially with this Baron buff. I mean, Agony do have this window where they have this item advantage. In League, it's not only about the gold advantage, it's more about what items you have completed. Those are the most important things. And I think Eversio are currently in a bit of a moment where they should base and buy those items. However, they do have Baron buff. It does allow them to push and not be contested, because it's a lot harder to kill the minions. And I think Eversio are playing this wonderful, being able to push side, get a tower, and now as this Baron buff wears off, as Eversio decide, listen, we have a lot of gold, we just collected a lot of map gold from the towers, we just decide, listen, let's go back, let's purchase a lot of items from the big fat wallets we have, and then let's decide to, in the next fight, we're just gonna smack Agony with our wallet, and they should be favoring us, hopefully.
Yeah, it's a pay-to-win game, League of Legends. The shopkeeper, he has his cost, his his expenses in the store. Amumu, 3 items. I won't be surprised if the Infinity Edge on Zaya is complete as well. Probably Sterex Gauge on Darius will be this next buy after he shoves this wave. Next team fight should be very Eversio favored. A lot of these items do give them the edge in this case, but we need to watch out for the score key and potentially Lord Dominic's being finished here by Sivir. Something to note, I'm not really sure what the idea was, but I think anti-heal from Agony here would have been a great choice to pick up earlier on, especially if we're pressuring this Darius in a lot of fights. He's just living long enough to get out all his stacks, all his ultis. And we don't have CC for that too, so
I was about to mention that, actually. No CC on the side of Agony to be able to CC down this Darius, and especially with this Sterex now being completed, extra tenacity, extra health, a massive shield when he gets low. The only way I can see Agony winning a team fight, right? They need to be able to do a long fight where they don't get bursted out by the Darius. They just need to play it slow, and they just need to slowly chunk down the front lane. However, they are against the Camtech, so it's easier said than done. And the saving grace right now for Agony is the amount of wave clear they have with the score key Sivir is really good. So even if though Eversio find themselves in a good position, they don't really have the shove to be able to find the towers right now. They always will need a Baron to be able to siege these towers. And now, with the Baron spawning in 30 seconds around, we really need to see if Agony decides, listen, this is a fight where we're just gonna have to fight it. If we give up Baron, we lose. Or if they decide, listen, let's use this opportunity to get control perhaps of the bottom side of the jungle, and we'll do a Drake fight, an Elder Drake. Elder Drakes can completely change the game. And
speaking of main objectives, Baron up in 10 seconds. Eversio are getting the push in mid. Probably gonna start that or look for engage. This next fight could be the end of the game. So we're either gonna get Baron or we're gonna get a fight. Knowing Agony will probably want to hold back a bit. I know they pushed the trigger like in the last 2 plays very quickly, but it seems like they're calming down. They are just taking these waves. Vayne is pushing on the bot lane here from Agony, as we can see in the meanwhile. But at the same time, they will contest this.
They will see 2 people falling down. Since Zawul being forced out, full stacks on this Darius. Darius will find a not a double kill, but they will find 2 picks. Sivir is pushing mid, trying to get this bot mid tower, but I mean, you need to defend your base here with your top being shoved. 5 men, sorry, in this top side. Agony now need to defend, and you don't have any frontline, you just create the carries against the Darius that still has flash. And
I would have loved to see the Gnar pick up instead of...
Yeah.
Wouldn't have been a bit better, maybe.
I think the Gnar pickup would have been a lot better, but now the past is in the past as Agony find themselves 3 members against 5. With Tom Kemp spawning into second, it's going to be a matter of if Agony is able to hold down the siege. No minions on the side of Eversio. Will they decide to call this off? Minion wave just coming in. They decide, listen, let's not throw this on a fight. We have Elder Drake spawning in 30 seconds. Let's just fight at Elder, get Elder. Let's play it cleanly. No need to, flip a coin to see if we win this fight. They just have bought the items. We need to recall. We have Baron gold we need to spend. Let's spend it all. Let's have everything stacked on our side for this Elder Drake fight. Secure Elder Drake, and with Elder Drake, they're going to look to end the game. Agony are first to the pit, with Eversio having a bit of a slower tempo to the pit. They have to face check. Rakan down, so slippery here. And now Eversio clearly...
Darius on the flank,
trying to find everyone. Rakan trying to go on the back line. Galio will only find 2. Sivir knocked up. Amumu on the backline. Darius will blast one into everyone. A lot of blinking health bars. It is an extended fight. Zaya currently on the double kill. Corku will bleed out. Everyone dying. And it's an ace on the side of Eversio. And this is game, guys. First game will go over to Eversio as they find themselves shoving down Agony's base. Agony will just watch with their gray screens as they find their base being shattered in tatters. And it seems that this time, Eversio will find their first game against Agony, and it's now Agony's turn to decide and bounce back against Eversio. Let's see what they have in store for game 2.
Yes, sir. Oi, oi, oi.
What a game! What a game! I think a bit of mishap in the draft with 3 AD carries. I see what they were going with.
I liked the draft.
I liked it.
Yeah, sadly, some fights maybe could have been a bit slower. And if we're going to leave Darius open, we need a bit more CC maybe potentially or a front line for that. Hard game to play for Agony for sure. It's a lot of things you need to consider, especially with the pressure on Zinza out there. The last fight was a bit, how you say, a bit unlucky. Zinza does clip Amumu into the entire backline of your team. Definitely we need to look into our next picks. And they have so many good picks, like they can make a more maybe well-rounded team comp. You need to consider it if Eversio are going to be drafting equal parts magic damage, AD damage. It makes it harder to itemize as well, as we could see. Eversio started building like Thornmail, Frozen Heart, like all these very beefy champ items. They did have Corki Agony, which he has a lot of true damage going through that armor, but it wasn't, the fights were too quickly ended, and Corki doesn't have that range to go in deep and get that damage off.
I think the turning point of the game, if you look at Agony, they actually had a gold lead for the early game.
Yes.
I think as soon as he gave the quadra kill over to Darius, it's going to be a very difficult game. And then he gets a triple kill as well. It's like, this Darius was the make and break to some degree of the team fights, even the way the team fights were fought, crucially. It always felt like Agony were not able to kite back, and the 4-mana Mumustan, you know, sticking together against the Darius, perhaps not the best option, I would say. The way, I think I would have loved to see them fight in a different way and decide and pick their fights a lot better. Listen, they have the better scaling comp, they had a gold lead. You don't have to try and find picks at the end of the day if you're just gonna win by just playing draw and like not trying to gain an advantage. You don't have to force your hand, so don't force your hand.
Yeah, they look confident in the fights, but they had to consider maybe playing a bit more around their Darius pick, especially early game. They made the right calls. They were sending people to counteract Eversio's ganks and engages and protection to the dives. They thought about it, that's why they got ahead. But maybe the fights were a bit more, hey, we're fighting here, everyone just jumps in this circle. And maybe we need to kite back a bit slower, maybe use the Zinzao ult just to continue kiting back, create that space. It also means that sort of Agony can't really engage. They want to walk back, as ideally Eversio are walking into them. It was hard, you know, even Zaya alone almost counters any engage you can do. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what this next draft offers, hopefully some more CC.
I'm also excited to see if Agony decide to stick on the same side, or if they decide, listen, no, let's go for red side, let's get that counter pick, and then perhaps we'll be able to find one of the picks. I am expecting that personally. Let's see how it plays out. I do think that, it was a close game. It wasn't like one side, it was a complete stomp. So,
as usual.
As usual, right? Whenever you have an Eversio Agony finals, it's always going to be a close game. It's never going to be one-sided. So, love that. I hope that game 2 is like that. And then, perhaps we can go to 3 games. And if it goes to 3 games, I hope that all the games are like that.
Yeah.
Give us close games. Give us like good Marco. There were a lot of good decisions being made from both teams. You know, like Eversio deciding, listen, we're just going to get top tower where you're engaging on our bot side. And both were almost going out even in the trades. So Gold was staying even with both teams deciding to cross map. And you know, that is something really good. You realize, listen, I'm losing something, but there's something else which I can gain. So let me try and get that thing.
Yes. Now Agony need to decide, do we go full on early game, win 15 minutes, or you know, we relax, we go Anivia mid lane, we go like, I don't know, Sivir again, we just the minion waves, get to 40 minutes, and then flip it in one fight. Let's do that.
It could be, and either way, if it's a 40-minute flip fight, that fight is going to be peak League of Legends, or else if it's just going to be a bloodbath, I'm all for it as well. Let's see. I am expecting, I think, Agony to change some things in draft for sure. I don't think they're going to go 3 the carries again. If they do, I'll be surprised and I'll eat my own words. I doubt it.
I still like the draft, but it was a very hard draft to pilot. I think so too. You know, while Eversio were more like, oh, we just need to survive a bit pressure when we have ults, and it works, right? Agony need to really space their opponents, maybe bait them into certain fights. They had good trades earlier on, but later on in the game, certain fights in the 5v5 were maybe played more like a heavy engage comp rather than disengaging or using that long-range poke they could have benefited from.
I think also something like Agony just lacked AP damage as well, so that's what made the itemization easier. So perhaps maybe on the side of bot, we would have loved to see, you know,
Kai'Sa maybe minimum, right?
Or,
like
they ban the
Varus
Ziggs.
or
What if
something.
they pick the Ziggs themselves, right? Instead,
Yep.
you know, as blue side, you have first pick, and if they first pick Ziggs, then like, okay, you first pick Ziggs. But you could easily like take away a pick from it. I would have loved to see something like that. I think more than the 3 AD carries, they were getting leads early game. So it was working. It's just, maybe it was just one fight. I'm really curious if I can just go, listen, no, we just picked out on one fight. And then like, you know, they were like, yeah, we picked once, we're running it back, we're confident in us. We'll be going to a short break between the games. So we're gonna see you for game 2 very soon.
We're gonna be cooking.
We're gonna be cooking.
Yes.
I hope the both teams right now are cooking in draft. So see you guys.
See you in 6 minutes.
See you in
Alright,
6
be there.
minutes.
Bye. Bye.
Welcome back, guys. We're here for game 2. After that game 1, I think, are gonna see a very good game 2. We're gonna be a bit more relaxed. Let's see if Agony are able to bounce back. I think we're soon gonna get into the draft. It should be very quick, jumping straight into it, straight into the action. Let's see how it goes.
Predictions for bands. Mela.
I mean, Darius Ben.
Darius and what was the last one they picked? They banned.
Yasuo, I would say. They banned Yasuo.
All right. Yon, Darius, Yasuo, and Eversio, probably like Aurora.
Aurora again.
And something.
That would make sense.
Are
we are
getting
already in the draft.
Okay, let's do it.
Quickly
16
into
seconds.
game 2.
Aurora.
You called that Aurora.
I win the lottery, right?
I think so. I'm seeing now, I'm expecting Yon, Yasuo, Darius. Those are my calls. What do you expect?
Scar Nero. This is not the team banning right now. This is Agony.
I think Eversio are banning. Yeah,
there
they get the
Skarner.
Skarner ban. You called it. Yeah, makes a lot of sense. I think it's expected, you know. Yasuo ban comes through. Until now, we're all for all. Who cast them all correctly? They are.
Are they that scared of Ari here?
I think Ari can be really strong, man. Like, as a mid, you have their own potential. The Darius ban, I called it. And we went 5 out of 6. That's really good, man. I think first pick here on the side of Eversio. They decide to just say, listen, if it's something ain't broke it, no need to fix it. We're just gonna pick a Mumu then.
No need to Heimerdinger it.
Exactly. So let's see. Potentially could be this scenario where
do we go Amumu again?
They're really chasing. The Bard's first pick. Okay, this is unexpected. What? Like, okay, Bard. So, Bard, as a support main, I am going to go a bit into this. Bard, really good at roaming, really good at early lane pressure, and also just annoying in terms of taking objectives. His ult can be used to like slow down Barons, can be used to like deny taking towers. Like, this Bard champion is pretty strong, and we might see...
They missed the ban, I think, right?
Did something go wrong? Let's see.
Something happened, of course.
Something happened. Let's see. We might have seen some...
This is not Playcon's fault. This is the Riot client.
I mean, listen, if there's anything I learned about being a caster, bro, Riot client, it sucks.
We'll get there 1 point.
We'll get there 1 point.
Maybe next 13 years? What do you think?
Make it 14, and maybe I'll
Season 36, 35, maybe?
Something around that. Bro,
Sounds
the client needs a revamp so bad. It will crash so many times.
No, we need skins that cost 1K. That's the next level, man.
No, man.
You pick the skin, you last hit, and like it last hits every minion in every lane. Yes.
Riot slowly becoming a pay-to-win game. What a surprise. Not a surprise. No. And sometimes this happens. Don't blame it on Playcon. Blame it on the Riot developers. I should not be saying that, but it's the truth. Riot a lot of times with their client, it can be buggy. Sometimes you just queue up for a game and you press join game and nothing happens. And then you get a 5-minute queue dodge timer. And you're like, interesting.
Yeah, I guess I watched this game, right?
Yeah, and you have 5 minutes to contemplate why you're playing League of Legends.
Oh boy. So, yeah, people are talking. We're trying to see. We have a close-up of Pullu here. They're thinking, what are we picking? Do I go Sivir again? Do I go Kaisa? What's the play here? Whatever they tell me, I'm kind of hungry. Oh, sorry. That's me. I was hungry. You don't blame me, right? There's like smoke coming from restaurants.
The smell of popcorn is so
there's
good,
pizza
guys.
as well, and
if
the
you guys
Juice
have not
Doctor
got
as
a
well
snack,
is here. He's very famous on the island, yes. And we see Mechanics here. Agony is mid laner. Next to Pullu, they are discussing perhaps what to get after this match.
This must also might cause some nerves, I would say, you know, where like you're getting into draft and you're like, now you find yourself at this weird thing where you need to restart, and all this stuff can sometimes like build a mental edge on an opponent. Well, it's accidental, but let's use a recent game for anyone who watches the lower esports scenes. If you watched G2's BLG series of Swiss in this year's Worlds, the pause kind of, let's say, ruined a bit of G2's Mantis, where it was a 15-minute pause, you sit there, you cannot talk, you just have to talk about the issue, and sometimes it just can a bit mess with your brain, Put yourself as one of these players. As we hear, the draft has restarted. I think they're just going to do the same bans.
Back, baby.
Shouldn't take long until we got back into this game. So, until we got back at this stage, quick fix, back into draft. Let's see if this Bard pick was locked in or not.
Darius spins,
Arif, I think. Oh my god, we're so smart, bro.
To be fair, we did get this and that.
Until we did get 5 out of 6, right?
Yes.
At least we're not that bad at the game.
Where are my pick'ems?
If only Playcon had pick'ems, man.
So we see Starforger here and Eyegloss in the back.
Instead of the Bard pick, they wanted to go with the Nocturne. So understandable, there was a draft remake, it seems.
So Bard was a mistake, that's why we dodged?
I think so.
Oh.
And according to actual Riot regulations, if you picked a mistake, you can redo the draft.
Oh.
If you don't have enough time, the draft is not redone. Okay. So if they managed to pick and it was a mistake, and I think that's how it is in professional play, not sure what the Playcon tournaments are, but if they're following the Riot regulations, if you pick a mistake, you're able to change it. Usually.
A nice answer to Nocturne, Kaisa. In general, if Nocturne goes on her and her team can peel just a little bit, even with that shield, she can even go Zonias if she wants. She can one-shot Nocturne. So here, Wukong also says, hey, Nocturne wants to get to 6, I want to get to 6. So who's going to be better in that? I think Wukong has better team fights in general. Nocturne wants those picks, side lane, maybe counter gank. So far I like Agony's draft a bit better. They did leave Ziggs open from what I see. Of course, that's what the ban was instead of Darius.
Yeah.
So Ziggs, very strong champion. If you ever make a play when Ziggs is on the map, he will just run to another lane, take a tower, 2, 3, your lunch, dinner, your car, keys, everything.
Anything that's an objective and will give him gold, he's going to yoink it off the map. We do see this Galio logged back in, understandably. Another thing, you were talking about this Wukong. I like it as well because when Nocturne ults you, you can just ult if you're with your team and just can use either remove that Nocturne spell shield, allowing for the rest of your team to follow up on this Nocturne and burst him down, or just really good for team fights. We also see the Rel pick, a very good engage support. Agony realizing, listen, last time we did not have engage, this time we're to have some really good engage, and this Kaisa pick, which I completely love.
Maybe I would have liked them to not pick Rel here for the simple reason that on the last game, Eversio did ban Leona Braum on these picks. So if they knew they're going Rel, they could have just left it open, I think, and maybe secured one of these bans.
Let's see how it goes. I mean, another ban here, I think, on the side of Agony would be targeting the top lane. This Tryndamere has shown on the side of Eyegloss in one of their Eversio's recent games, in their international games. So perhaps Agony were scouting the international games that Eversio were playing and decided, listen, this Tryndamere looked like a menace. We have banned the Darius. Let's remove these 2 good picks from Eyegloss. He was clearly the threat in the last game. Maybe if we remove him from, the carry champions, maybe we can win this.
Yeah. Probably going to be giving the counter matchup to Gruntless. They did ban out Gwen here, as you can see. Team Agony does need magic damage, so they were thinking maybe they go with Gwen. They do have Rumble open, very strong AP damage. They did get Syndra. Syndra has good damage, but not your main magic source, just to get a pick. We see Eversio here drafting Nautilus. Gangplank, another problematic champion to give Luca here. It does round off their comp quite well. A lot of engage, a lot of backline poke, so they want to bring them to low health and then just engage on top of that, while Agony have closer to what I think last game should have been, a more like, hey, let's fight in this spot kind of thing. And Cassanta being picked up here, great champion. He can pretty much one-shot GP, probably post 6, but on 6 for sure. He can one-shot pretty much everyone. So that's a tank for you, by the way.
I think now we're seeing both teams playing for what they want. Agony has this team fight comp, which is really good.
Better draft this time.
Better draft for sure, I think, from both teams.
Yeah.
And also, Eversio have 4 globals. We cannot ignore these, right? Like, they're going to be all over the map. They recognize, we always praise Eversio, that they're one of the best teams when it comes to playing for macro, when it comes to playing for the map. They understand this. They're going to play for the map. They're going to try their best to deny as much as possible from Agony at getting on all these objectives. You might be in a 1v2 and Agony might think, listen, we found a pick. But then all of a sudden, Galio will come out of nowhere, a Zigzag will come down, Nocturne will turn off the lights, and Gangplank will ult all the way from top lane.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, it's not really a 1v2 anymore.
Agony need to think about this, okay? Before going into a fight, they need to be like, GP ult, Galio ult, Nocturne ult, Ziggs ult. So maybe they'll try to play the fight, bait out those very key abilities. They have good pick potential as well. They have Rel, Wukong, Syndra. So let's see how they play it. Game 2 starting.
Game 2 starting. We're in game 2, guys. This is Agony's chance to take it to 3 games. This is match point for Eversio. Eversio here to make a stand. They're the best team in Malta. Agony here to find their demons. The team that has always bested them in finals. Let's see who's able to come up on top.
Yeah, I'm really curious for this draft. It's going to be a lot of fighting, okay? Maybe Eversio can slow it down a bit. They have GP, they have Ziggs, they definitely have those tools. Agony, as Cassanta ult, his name is all out, and that's kind of how they want to play this game. They just want to get a bit ahead. It's going to take them a long way with a small advantage. On the side of Eversio, anytime that Agony wants to do a play, because they probably want to fight together, they're just going to rotate Ziggs into an opposite lane, and he's going to take as much as possible.
So I'm curious. The Syndra Galio matchup in mid, I think, would be crucial to get its priority. And with a Nocturne, usually always want mid priority. Correct me if I'm wrong. But with Nocturne, like, the more mid priority you have, the more you can decide where to go on the map. So I think Galio past 6 should be able to clear the wave and still get priority against the Syndra. The Syndra is more of a late game pick. Perhaps she finds a Awaken or the Star Forger and just is able to burst them down. Let's see.
Yeah, Prower, he's done a lot of good plays on Nautilus, so I'm sure it's going to be a great game here. Rel, Nautilus, pretty much not going to be doing much in this early game. Until later levels, it's pretty much down to Ziggs and Kai'Sa. The push is in Eversio's favor. They could get level 2 before, so we might see some action there in the mid lane. Should be easy trades for Syndra to get her passive up. Galio being melee, of course, but later on, he won't be taking damage from this Syndra, I'm pretty sure about that. Top lane, GP getting the push into Cassante. He should have the advantage overall until Cassante gets a nice engage on him. And Wukong and Nocturne both going to be chilling until they're probably around level 6 or find like a very easy play.
We should not see a lot of fighting before level 6. We're seeing a lot of champions here which really love their ultimates. We have Rel who really love their ultimate, Kai'Sa, Syndra all need their ultimate. We do see Wukong with some interesting pathing going on here. Let's see.
Wukong slowly creeping out behind Eversio's bot lane. The Tri-Brush not warded. He did W over the wall. Flash W used on Rel. They don't have any follow-up CC. The Wukong is going to get stunned and they just walk out of that. So Flash Ignite used on Rel. They used their 2 main engage tools to pretty much do that, so they couldn't re-engage middle. A small trade as you would expect, but when abilities are on cooldown, they can't really do much more than that. But mid might be the next focal point. In the meantime, Nocturne did get his 4 clear down, so Wukong losing quite a lot for that in comparison to only losing Flash on Ziggs. I would have also liked to see maybe both Wukong or Nocturne start from Raptors into Golems. This is called the super clear. It's typically used more in common when you want that level 6 engage. But they went for standard paths. Wukong is going to be delayed here. He even clears his proc. And now doing Scuttle, so the response is going to be delayed. Nocturne has first priority here. He is level 4. Wukong definitely does not want to fight that. He has camps up, while Nocturne's camps are respawning even stronger with more XP. Wukong really needs to think about clearing his camps. But on bot lane, a lot of action happening here. Re-engage on the Nautilus. I don't think it's going to lead to much, but we're just showing who's boss, right? Jumping on top of each other.
Yeah, as you said, this Wukong now is really behind in clear, but he was kind of forced to shadow the Syndra with Nocturne showing up and Eversio getting the shot in mid. Now Wukong will be really far behind. And like you can already see that Nocturne has base and is already clearing his golems on the bot side, while Wukong is still taking the blue, needs to reset, and then needs to restart taking his jungle. The tempo is definitely in Eversio's favor here. I mean, there's nothing really like that Agony can do. This might lead to some early objectives being given up, trading for a bit of tempo back on the side of Agony. League is a big game of tempo. It's about who is to the map first, who is to the objective first, and who is able to like set up for a fight. Like I'm trying to explain this perhaps in terms that like you always want to fight on your home turf. If you're fighting away from your home turf, you're at a disadvantage. So like Agony need to fight on their terms, and Polo here, perhaps Mechanic, a bit caught out as First Blood goes over to Dracourt.
I'm curious that Eversio went for this play. Of course, they need to use Nautilus setup. But we did have flash on Syndra, so you know, we could have maybe flashed the Q, but his reactions didn't react to that accordingly. But in the meanwhile, TP used the mid. He's already back, so if they want to contest Drake, they could potentially look for it.
Yeah,
Seems
and now
like
Gangplank crucially level 6. Yeah, and with this Gangplank at level 6, he is able to provide support if a Drake fight happens. Cassandra just sticking over to level 6, so now if Gangplank walks a bit too far, he could find himself under the tower getting blasted by Cassandra. We do see that Agony actually are first to the pit, as another pick might happen in mid lane, as the Syndra now uses her flash, but might be a bit too late. Gangplank fold actually forces out, and Syndra able to survive that. So, one global use from the side of Eversio. Syndra doesn't die, yes, she uses her flash,
yes,
but Agony...
and Nocturne is going to get 6 here on the scraps for sure. That Syndra is going to be a sitting duck. I hope she gets some help from Wukong, but Wukong still level 4 due to the early game. Will be a bit hard to contest direct 2v2.
And
Dragon does go into Eversio's pocket, that's more AD in general. Grabs being picked up by Eversio is also a good call because GP, he's definitely going to make use of that. Ziggs definitely wants those 6 grabs. He's going to be pushing down towers left and right. So I'm not sure about priorities. Maybe grabs would have been a bit of a better option, but AD does go hard here on Eversio's team as well.
Yeah.
Cassandra is 6, maybe looking to potentially take out Gangplank here. I'm not going to be surprised if it happens.
It would be Cassandra doing Cassandra things. This champion is well known for being a bit broken, and the amount of stuff he can do, he can tank, he can dish out damage, he's very mobile at the same time. Yes, he did recently got nerfed, but still a really strong champion. As we do see here, bot lane do have the push after Eversio were able to crash the wave into Agony side, and now it's bouncing back into Eversio. Although Ziggs very good at clearing the wave, it's very hard to ever be able to crash a wave into a Ziggs. He just lanes his mines and the minions just die. Game should be now no fighting, no picks should happen until Grubs and Drake are back up. However, we do have a flashless Syndra on mid. And when you have such an immobile champion, you usually want to find a pick on her, especially when you have a Nocturne. This Nocturne can easily lock her down. You can see on the minimap just how safe the Syndra has to play. She has to respect the fact that Nocturne could R her at any point. And this is sometimes you don't even have to use your ability. You just need to have it up, and it just puts up a lot of pressure on the map. You're unable to walk up the lane because you'd immediately get ulted. You'd get stunned by this Galio without flash. You're dead.
Something to note, Nocturne was always one camp up. He does have 2 more camps to clear while Wukong's camps are down. So we're going to slowly start seeing Nocturne edge a bit closer and closer, further away. Potentially a big play will happen bot lane here in the next 2 to 3 minutes, judging by how things are. Wukong is also walking there as well. He's 6, but not with Nautilus recalling. So maybe not. Let's see.
What we could see is at the 10-minute mark, Gruntless still holds on his teleport. So we could see possibly a teleport play bot, but as I say that, Nocturne will ult into bot lane, Galio decides to join, and all of a sudden this Rel is on her own against all the enemy team. She's able to flash out, but so many ultimates used on the side of Eversio. All the ultimates used to pick this Rel. How are Agony able to punish this? Agony need to find and use this window to be able to punish Eversio somehow. Nocturne flashing on the Syndra, Cecile, Galio taunts the Syndra, and this flashless Syndra will die in mid lane. Such an immobile champion without a flash, so easy to get picked on.
Yeah, well played by Starforger. He knows that Syndra doesn't have flash, easy pickups. They're slowly getting ahead, which is trouble for Agony. Of course, both comps are quite fairly even in terms of what they could potentially do later on in the game. But now that they are about 2k up in terms of gold, Eversio, definitely in their strength, we'll slowly maybe see them start playing around this top side. Now that bottom is a bit more secure, maybe leave Ziggs and send support here for top side for these grabs. Very important, as we discussed already. Eversio definitely want those 6.
I would like to point out how the difference is between finding a pick with the current objectives on board. There are currently no objectives on the map, so even though Eversio used all their ultimates for a single kill, Agony find themselves in a position where they cannot punish it at all, because there's nothing on the map, grubs are spawning now, and the ultimates are slowly taking over, so they might be able to contest grubs and take them away from Eversio.
I'm curious why Eversio are leaving these grubs open. They would benefit from it. Ziggs does have Ludens as well, but they are preferring to pressure the Skysa instead. Fair enough. They just have 3 grubs, right? They maybe not necessarily need them because Ziggs still will do his job. Grubs being stolen there by Nocturne, forced to ult out on Syndra.
He uses Syndra as an escape tool and forces her to flash. Amazing. In the meantime, Kai'Sa forced to ult on the bot lane. Notorious Hook will find the pick on this Kai'Sa, and Eversio able to find the 4 grabs. Crucial to spawn the grabbies, and Eversio still find the better of the trade.
So yeah, I mean they have to use Nautilus ult there, and even Ziggs and Nautilus down for this dragon, but maybe they can sneak it. Agony is respawning and coming in, guns blazing for this dragon. So will they take it in time? Eversio are looking to start it. Dragon is pulled out by Starforger. Meanwhile, bot tower falling to Ziggs, a very easy champion, as we said, to push those towers.
However, there's like, if you fight now, you don't really have any completed items on the side of Agony, right? Ziggs is the only one with a completed item. So even if you take this fight now, it's not a guarantee win. You were able to take the first Drake away. Losing first Drake to team, you know, it's fine. Give it up. There's no reason to fall even further behind. Take a fight where you're already behind. Perhaps play for the team fights. Play for what you're good at. Agony are always praised for their team fights. They need to slow the game down, not let it snowball out of control. Just play the game and play for team fights, play for what you're good at, and win a game that way.
Yeah, they tried some early game stuff. So far, I think they're still suffering from it. The mid lane is getting heavily pressured. And anytime they see the opportunity, they're trying to pressure the Kai'Sa. We do make a top lane play. First time we've seen someone go in top lane, forcing GP flash. Not much comes from that. He might have not even needed to flash, who knows, maybe oranges were enough. But better safe than sorry for sure.
And now we see the K'Sante will try to use that flashless Gangplank to his advantage, as we see also a fight happening in mid lane. In the meantime, top side, Gangplank ult forced out, a crucial tool that cannot be used in the next team fight. And now, as Rift is spawning and coming onto the map, will Eversio decide to fight this, or will Agony decide, listen, this is where we make a stand. We have a flashless and no old Gangplank as Nocturne, the Star Forger, decides to go onto this K'Sante. But K'Sante, so tanky, has so much CC. A knock-up goes against K'Sante. So many tools being burst. A 3-man Magnus Storm, but no follow-up there on the side of Agony. Wukong finally going in. Zigzag does all of damage. Wukong trying to carry. Scatter of the Weak will find them at maximum range. Wukong on very low HP, trying to find his way out. K'Sante doing K'Sante things. Kai'Sa trying to free hit the entire Eversio team. And at the end of the day, what a play for Agony. They're able to survive. They're able to make a stand and say, no, this is not how we go down. We're gonna fight.
Well done, Agony, showing their teamfight prowess as what they are known for. Trading 1 for 4 there, brilliantly done. Considering that they were already low on golden resources, they found the picks that they needed. Beautiful rel ult on the backline. Not much follow-up, but it did come eventually. And the Wukong really saving the day with that ultimate. In my opinion, equal parts to Darius for Luca. Wukong and Varsal should be looked out for. He's doing really well on this champion, finding great success alongside his team. Which makes sense, right? They like team fights. He's a great team fight champion. A lot of armor on him. Nocturne, GP, not really able to take him down. They do get Herald from all that play, so even more gold going into their pockets. They could potentially transition into the top lane with this Herald, doing something similar of what Eversio did on the last game, taking potentially 1 or 2 towers, let's say.
Let's see now how Agony decide to play with the Rift Herald, right? They cannot take first tower because first tower has already been secured on the side of Eversio. So crucially, that gold has already been secured in Eversio's pocket. Let's see now this top lane now. K'Sante is unkillable and it will always be no priority on either side. In the meantime, AD carries find themselves in mid lane as Eversio will try and get side pressure on this bottom tower. Syndra, they're trying to deny the Gromp from Nocturne, but no objectives on the map, no fighting should happen again. We're seeing fights only around objectives, which is how it should be, because neither team really needs to find a fight at the moment, right? Just fight for objectives and try and, like Eversio, use their gold lead to win the team fight. Agony, use their team fight prowess to win the fight. Now, a lot of items completed on both sides. We see both sides have their first items. Perhaps Eversio will try and look and find a window where they have completed their second item, but Agony are still completing their second. We see full bottom control on the side of Eversio, blue wards on the side of the bottom river. Agony walking into this could be horror for them, but it is Mountain Drake, so I don't want to give too many Mountain Drakes to this Galio, to this Gangplank as well. Even Nocturne then with armor, you know, it's a lot harder to burst out. So perhaps they might decide to fight this. Giving off one Drake for a bit of tempo is not even a bad idea.
Yep, balls in anyone's court right now. I think they're fairly equal. The Ziggs is quite scary. They're completing his second item. It's a very strong pickup Horizon, a lot of damage kind of coming through. Not many people can take down Ziggs if he positions correctly in this comp. So Agony here dropping the Herald mid lane as Dragon is spawning. They still seem hesitant to contest the river. So Herald pretty much used and not much taken from it. Dragon is the priority for both teams. Eversio maybe started it, or
we'll see that K'Sante trying to walk. They're face checking this, right? You have unlike last game, K'Sante is a meat wall. You need to throw so much at him to like kill him, and you know he can just face check take a bit of damage, walk back, he's still almost full HP. So now Agony are fighting for river control as they use the Rift Herald to perhaps try and get some damage and get this control. Now Ziggs does find the push on mid, and Agony find themselves in a scenario where they have to force a fight now or they're gonna lose their mid tower. As I say that, a beautiful Magnet Storm comes on from Rel, good follow from the Wukong. Kaisa hitting the back line. In the meantime, this Galio tries to find the Syndra. Scatter of the Weak will find the Galio, ult being used on the side of Syndra. Dracul will fall down. Wukong trying to find perhaps a pick. Rel going in, Nods rushing out. Cassandra doing Cassandra things. Kaisa saying back, using her W to lower the health bars. At Cassandra with a double kill. This champion, very strong currently in this game, using his all out, using his health bar to its maximum efficiency, zoning out the Galio from Syndra, not allowing crucial carriers to die, and Agony again showing a teamfight masterclass.
Yep, Nocturne getting a bit caught out there before the fight. Usually if you're Eversio, you might want to start the fight around when Ziggs gets some poke in. The Agony lineup did find that engage just before they could get a poke down. Nocturne being essentially engaged on by Wukong, not allowing him to ult out, while Eversio team did stack on Syndra. The Kaisa had free control to auto-attack whoever is in front of her. She did bears down the rest of Eversio's team. So far so good. We might see a turn of pace in favor of Eversio when GP gets his second item alongside Ziggs poke. It's going to be a great opportunity to take fights when people are a bit more around that half health, especially if they can get some poke on Rel before the fight starts, or Wukong. That's going to be their ideal team fight. As you said, Cassandra is an immortal walking amongst common humans in game, of course.
I would also like to point out this Cassandra has 3 kills, right? This Cassandra has a lot of gold. Comparing to the Gangplank, that is still sitting on 1.5 items, this Cassandra has completed the business mask. So even aiding his team, Syndra here, perhaps a bit caught out again, as 2 globals committed, but the Syndra fleshless still survives. So a lot of use here by Eversio, and nothing actually found. Syndra's fine with that. And now perhaps Agony can use this window where Nocturne is down, Gangplank ult is down, to perhaps find the Ziggs. Good Satchel comes out to disengage. Crucial there to survive the Kaisa.
Re-engage on Ziggs is really good because this makes it a bit harder for him to hold the wave, but as you can see, Ziggs is just one of these champions a bit hard to siege against. But they could potentially look to dive him. Nautilus is there to cover. He does have to recall, he does have TP as well. So yeah, Ziggs just comes back on the map. They start Baron. Agony do start Baron here.
I don't like this play at all. I think
this is it, guys.
I don't think they have damage to Persis down. Perhaps they're trying to get Iglos TP here, because if you're able to get Iglos TP and you call off the Baron, you would have a TP advantage on Grantless. But I think that's what their goal was. They were trying to get Iglos to TP over. But if you're Iglos, if you don't see Cassandra TP, you just don't TP. It's a 4v4 and you trust your team to carry it.
Yeah, maybe that's the plan, right? Maybe bait out the TP, but they do use Syndra TP on their own end to try and get that play in. Maybe it wasn't well communicated from the Agony side why they want the Syndra TP, but better safe than sorry just in case they fight, right?
Yeah, I don't hate that play. I think you try something. You don't lose a lot, right, if you still lose Syndra TP, but it's not the end of the world. Right now, I think until Drake spawns, I think most of these fights will revolve around Drake. If you're a Eversio, don't want to give this Mountain Drake to Agony, because Agony on Soul Point can then pressure them up when Baron and Draken are up, and a lot of macro would go on where, you need to decide what to give. So I think the next Drake could be crucial. Eversio could still give it up and say, no, we're just going to fight the Soul Point, we trust in our members. And in the meantime, it's just a lot of clearing waves. So we never actually talked about who has the advantage in late game here.
Yeah, I'd give it to either side. If Agony find a good engage and they're equal items, they should win. But Eversio have poke, knockbacks. If they get them down to half health, they could win the fight with Nocturne and Galt.
Yes, I think also with Eversio, they're 2 completely different comps, right? I think Agony wants to play it front to back. They want their Cassandra to eat most of the damage. They have Syndra Kai'Sa in the backline, just destroying the entire Eversio team. Eversio want to play this the opposite. They want to ult on the Kai'Sa, find the pick, then find the fight. But this Kai'Sa, slippery, so many shields, Kai'Sa shield. I think look at the Byron Serali used by the Rel. Now Rel might sacrifice herself to allow Kai'Sa to survive. They find the pick onto this Rel. Kai'Sa very low HP, and now Agony find themselves one man down while trying to hold this mid siege.
As predicted, Kai'Sa, great answer for Nocturne, has a lot of tools to survive his initial dive. He's still low enough to not get, to not be able to re-engage, but it does mean that Nocturne ult is down. Maybe later on as well, when Kai'Sa has more items, she can potentially even one-shot this Nocturne, who will be quite squishy with only a few health items across his build.
I think something I want to point out, guys. Look at the ultimates on both teams. On the side of Agony, we have all ultimates except Kai'Sa's. On the side of Eversio, only ultimate which will be up for the next Ray fight will be Prowler's ult and maybe Awaken's ult if it is in time. Starforger also taking close, so let's see. A Scatter of the Weak will find two. Syndra ult used almost immediately. Cassandra trying to buy time for the team to Dragon. Agony deciding to target his Rake. Wards being dropped in the pit, so Eversio have information. The lights turned off on the side of Eversio. Agony being patient, understanding, and once this ult is down, Nocturne doesn't have a way into this fight. A good Cassandra and Rel engage will go through. Wukong also going through. Zigzag, but entire Eversio is so low. A double kill, another double kill for this Cassandra. Galo will run away, Ziggs will run away, but I think now Agony might have a Baron angle with 4 members alive and only 2 members alive for Eversio. Yes, Eversio able to find this Might Steal, the Starforger able to get that, but what are you losing?
Yeah, both junglers going down there. Another 3-for-1 for Agony. Eversio seem to go into that, but Syndra's right behind them. Sneaky, sneaky. Oh boy!
Oh, the Flash Scatter of the Week will go into the Ziggs. The Ziggs now killed by the Kai'Sa. Shutdown gold, crucially for this Kai'Sa. Now, Drakur also dead. A double kill on this Kai'Sa. If you want one member on your team that's going really to be ahead, it's this Kai'Sa. When she hits at 4-item, 3-item power spikes, she can dish out a lot of poke. She can match Ziggs poke. Let's see how this game will now develop.
Giving Eversio a lot to think about, Agony, right now. Every fight, they're just pretty much face rolling them. So, yeah, it's looking really Agony favored. We haven't seen GP do much this game. We
As
see
you
a
say
big
that, another
engagement
Scatter
on
of the Week, the Scatter of the Week, the Syndras is carrying.
Yeah, like
when it
Nocturne
comes
can't
to the
do
team
much
fights.
there.
Nocturne picked out again, this time Nautilus also down and nothing used except ultimates on the side of Agony. This now should be Baron, mid tower also falling down for Agony, and Agony bouncing back in this game, completely different in the team fights from the last game, knowing how to play in the team fights, and credit where credit is due. Mechanics, Scatter of the Week have been beautiful this entire game.
What can I say? Kai'Sa is going to be a really hard champion to dive in general, especially if Nocturne is the only one doing it. We saw that he fully survived the dive, including GP ult. Just kites back, one small stun from Rel, and Kai'Sa has free reign of attacking. Very easy to take down their team. We really need Eversio to slow down, poke them out, and then engage with the Nocturne ult. Nocturne should just not be seen, you know, before people are low. In the meanwhile, maybe Eversio can return the favor and get something from this bot lane. Baron up, they do need to stall this out as they are pushing.
So you know how we were previously talking about how Nocturne should have the lead, right? Now Wukong has 2 levels ahead of this Nocturne. It is horror on the side of the jungler, right? Also, crucially, this mechanics very close to level 16, a big power spike for the Syndra. Cassandra, level 16, to Iglos, level 15. Yeah. So
with Syndra 16, as you're saying, especially GP, we haven't even seen him yet. He does have 2 items, almost 3. But if Syndra finds him in these fights, she's just gonna one-shot him for sure. They have a lot of this problem even with Nocturne. If he goes too deep, Syndra will dive them. Okay.
And we have a Nocturne engage onto the Syndra, and Nocturne just forced to immediately flash defensively, so he thought he was engaging, but he wasn't. Now, Agony still fighting, as Scatter of the Week will find 3. This guy is correct, he's playing so well. Magnustorm comes out from Rel, everyone finding under this tower, the tower trying to do a lot. In the meantime, it's a complete mosh pit with Syndra finding a triple kill, a quadra kill, sorry, in this bot side. Agony now with this Baron buff will look to open up this base. The Ziggs, the only one alive. 30 seconds timers on the side of Eversio. Will this be game? As they go, they try and fight. They decide to call it off. Listen, we have a good gold lead. No reason to throw the game. No reason to give Eversio a chance to bounce back with our blinking health bars. We're just gonna take this mid tower, collect all the gold, and now the game is ours to lose as we find ourselves with a 10k gold lead.
This is the Agony I was expecting to show up on game 1. I'm glad to see they went more into their roots, team fighting champs, not really trying to mess around with spacing and kiting, etc. That fight, we saw a lot of damage going on to Cassante before the fight starts. As I mentioned, Nocturne is going to be very squishy in this comp, so anytime he's like showing up, he's just going to get bursted. There's no really way to turn around that. Maybe it's too far gone at this point in the game, not really sure. But as I've been saying from the beginning, they need to find ways for Ziggs to poke them down a bit, maybe with GP barrels as well, before they engage. In the meanwhile, Agony have free reign over this game. They are pretty much untouchable at this point. So unless they do some really major mistake and maybe Kai'Sa just goes 1v5 and or something, which I don't think they will, I don't really see much ways of Eversio coming back from this one.
Yeah, it is Agony's game to lose. They found themselves on now stall point, burning up in 2 minutes 30. Crucially, Syndra has seraphs complete. Nocturne can no longer burst her. Stopwatch on Kai'Sa. This Kai'Sa was already slippery. Good luck killing her now. Also, this Cassante, 3 items completed. So, you know, this front to back comp seems to be working a lot better than what Agony, what Eversio has drafted with 4 global ultimates. So let's see how it goes. I think this game should be cleanly closed out on the side of Agony. Get Baron or get Soul, and then look to end the game.
Yeah, it's just a waiting game. The next fight could mean a lot for Agony. Of course, if they do manage to secure the takedowns, everyone's healthy, they could potentially push to finish the game. But it's just a waiting game for now. They're on soul point as well. Baron is up in 1.5 minutes. Agony don't like to rush things usually. Let's see if they finally engage here, but yep, they said nope, they disengage. Okay, we're just chilling. Most likely going to stall until this Baron. Syndra free farming against Galio on bot lane. Both sides do have TP. All TPs are up. Something to note as well.
I think all summoners are up. If only Nocturne doesn't have flash. So the next team fight, everyone has all the resources. The next team fight is going to be the team fight that determines everything. And at least in the terms of summoners, it's an almost equal game. It is going to be, I think, a crucial team fight.
This is when you want to fight if you're Eversio. If you will see the items, everyone is sitting on around 3 items. Agony just have half items, and Ziggs has 4. So this is like prime time. If they want to fight, they need to get some poke in. Sadly, Nautilus here being caught out. Syndra ult might be enough. Kai'Sa ult does good as well, so that's your main engage going down. Still not the end of the world if Ziggs can get that poke alongside GP before this Baron. They still have Nocturnal, they still have Galio on top of that, so they do have engage. They just need to whittle them down before they go in.
I don't really dislike, like Prowler will be up most likely in time for Dragon, right? Baron will spawn and Prowler will be up almost immediately. So if he just rushes out, he might be able to join the fight. 2 crucial ultimates perhaps down, you know, the burst of Syndra and the slipperiness of Kai'Sa now also removed. So let's see if Eversio are able to find the fight which
No
they
vision
wanted
here
to
from
fight.
Eversio. Baron started.
So complete darkness on the side of Eversio. They are unable to see that Agony have even started this. Now a blue orb comes through, so now they know. Zig sitting back, Nocturne sitting back. Perhaps they're deciding that they should engage. I think a Nocturne will try to find a steal. With the steal, Eversio able to steal the Baron. Now it's Agony's game to try and find pick. They cannot let Eversio get away with this. Nautilus hooking the wall, trying to get away. Kaisa with a double kill. Now Cassandra chasing this gangplank. Syndra also there, and the Star Forger might have just saved the game for Eversio. What a steal there, turning off the lights, making it a lot harder for Agony to be able to find this Baron. But gangplank here, Eyegloss will show up to Syndra's face. Orange, the scatter of the week, and find the pick. Now this game is gonna turn into pure chaos, and I love it.
We're still 5k up on Agony's side, right? Just a fail smite, but we did take the 1-4-3 still winning these fights. It definitely will stall out the game. It's definitely much more harder to push into Eversio now with the Baron buffs, minions being too strong, of course. But before we get to that point, Dragon will be up in less than a minute. Cassante is going to love that. Wukong is going to love that. So many champions having these resistances. The damage from Eversio's side is not that high, okay? GP did used to have true damage. Forgive me if I'm not sure if it's gone or not, but in general, with all this armor and then dragons on top of that, it's actually 3 mountain dragons they're going to have, including Soul.
If they get Soul, let's see if Eversio fight this.
If they get Soul, we might get another Smite Steal, right? But the plan for Ziggs to poke them down with GP does go lower now that we have all these mountain drakes as well.
We see Soul spawning right now. Agony has set up on this Drake. Eversio need to walk in. Galio on top side with teleport. Syndra answering to this Galio with teleport. Galio also has ultimate, so we can immediately join the fight. Gangplank ult being forced onto this Dragon Pit. Cassante trying to deny Nocturne even the ability of stealing things. Zigzag comes out, they try and get the Darren into smiteable range. However, this time Varsal, not again. You fool me once, you won't be able to fool me twice.
Yes, I like the idea as well from Eversio. They tried to combo Zig's ult on top of Drake to get a good smite. It was still 1.7 left, so a bit more practice on that.
And now Magnet's arm onto the Nautilus. Nautilus now perhaps a bit called out. He will use the ultimate, will try to hook a wall, but there's nowhere for him to run. Now, 5 members strong against Eversio's 3 members. Minion wave in mid lane. No Baron buff that would have assisted. So they have to get this tower. Ziggs clear, insane. Cassandra trying to deny them the space to be able to clear the wave. However, he might just trade his life for it. So many tower shots. Cassandra on a blinking health bar, forced the flash. Syndra forced to go into a status, and the Eversio actually look to perhaps find now the counter engage. Now Galio going forward, flash taunt onto the Syndra. Syndra really low, will use the eye onto the gangplank, will find the 1-for-1. Now Kaisa walking forward into this Galio. Galio goes into a status. It is a complete mosh pit. Now everyone's fighting. Galio's dying. In the meantime, Nocturne will find the kill. Now it's a 2v2. Now Kaisa trying to free fire on this Nocturne. Nocturne unable to hit it. Wukong using his ult, try and find the kill. Ziggs goes away, and now Wukong will try and find the pick. He will survive on so little health as Nautilus will save his AD carry, and that was one intense fight. And if you guys love League of Legends, this was the content that we really wanted.
Yeah, we saw Syndra going down after getting picked, but just pressing one button, taking out Gangplank. So easy for Syndra here. In this matchup, she can burst down Nocturne, she can burst out GP, Ziggs, all of them. I think Eversio are playing it a bit too much front to back. They don't have that kind of DPS from an ADC. They need to try and find like Ziggs poke on their Agony backline, but they are not finding these openings as Cassante is just rushing in there, taking all the damage. Meanwhile, Kaisa ults in, smashes whoever Cassante is hitting, and then they just kite back out. It's being really nice, easy team fights for Agony. Anyone comes to challenge them, Syndra just pushes them away, stuns, presses a button, deletes them, you know, all the works.
Crucially, in the last fight, Syndra did not have flash. Now, flash up for Syndra, Wukong only. On the side of Eversio, flash up on Nautilus and should be on Eyegloss for the next fight. So now it's gonna be a matter if Iglos and Gnosis is able to find this flash Kaisa, or if Mechanics with his flash is able to find someone or play it good enough that he's able to stay back, use his flash defensively, and just dish out damage while staying in the back. No objectives on the map, no reason to fight. Baron in 1 minute, Elder in 3 minutes. Next Baron fight could determine the game. If that's not the case, we're going to Elder.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to think if they throw this one, but maybe another smite from Nocturne. Main big problem is that they didn't play out the matchup as favorably as they could. From what I've seen casting Eversio games, they seem to have sometimes a bit of trouble getting more poke-oriented team comps to work, because they do like to fight. You need to take maybe a bit more of your time. Nocturne pick not really doing much against this Wukong, who just has it easy in comparison. Nocturne has to look out for so many things, and Agony are known for stacking together. They're not going to leave someone out.
Kaisa is full build.
Yep.
This Kaisa can now actually sit back and just poke. So we have 2 poke machines on both sides, with 2 burst machines on both sides. This Nocturne, Syndra, right? Both can decide to click someone, and they're most likely dead. A bit harder on Nocturne, because Zonias and a lot of tools.
I'd like to give props to Awaken, considering the game state. He's more than managed to keep up his farm, alongside sometimes even being ahead of his counterpart. Big Baron play here.
We see now TP coming in from Cassandra. It's another fight. Nocturne will go early.
Oh my god!
Oh, the Star Forger, how good are you at getting these steals? Now, Cassandra trying to deny them the way to go back. Star Forger carrying single-handedly the entire weight of Eversio on his back. That man's back is so cracked, but it might not be enough as Rare will go in, but her health bar just eviscerates as she's fighting Gangplank. Cassandra going forward now. Stasis forced out by the Kaisa. Syndra now against this Gangplank. This Gangplank's damage is so huge. You need to be so careful. Even with so, they are unable to find the fight they want.
At least if Nocturne isn't doing much, he can at least ultimate and play for the steal, right? They're winning it. It's 3 out of 4 they try to steal. Oh my. This is really going to delay. And all the early game efforts that Agony have done, they're just giving them time and time for Eversio to scale back up. Look at GP, 4 items, just 1 item away. It's a bit tragic. It is still a 1-for-1 trade, so all in all, of course, in favor of Eversio. Despite having Dragon Soul, Agony are still not finding these fights.
Now, crucially, Eversio will have tempo on this Dragon, which means that Eversio will be first to the Drake. Now, Agony will need to defend it. However, Eversio seems not to be using the time to get vision of the Dragon. So now, 7 seconds until this Elder spawns. This Elder fight should determine the game.
I would stack Tribrush here if I was Agony.
I don't know, like, you don't want to get out, you don't want to die.
They need to play more aggressive, you know, they had the fights, and maybe they were taking a bit too long and not invading. And, you know,
but at the same time, did you expect Nocturne to steal twice? Like, if I'm Agony, I don't expect Nocturne to steal both Barons. If
it is a potential, right, if he's still alive. But
Scatter of the Week will find the Galio on the bot side, good damage coming out. So might force a reset on the side of Galio. Perhaps he might have to use his TP now. Let's see what will happen.
Yep. Prepare for a dragon fight. Should we get the countdown? 20, 19, 18. Fight's gonna happen soon. Oh, they're itching. Agony on the side, the Rel flank finds the GP.
Scatter all fights the Gangplank. Kaisa goes in. Gangplank now the target. Pullo will find his legendary, will find this Gangplank. Now everyone turning onto this Wukong, but the Wukong so tanky will buy so much time. As Scatter of the Week finds 3 again. Mechanics says, Star Forger, you might be carrying the game, but my Scatter of the Week will find you all. As Galio now on the side, getting chased by this Kaisa, and this is game. Because with a mid-lane wave, you don't even need Elder Drake to end the game. And Mechanics versus the Star Forger was basically the meta of this game. Also credit to Pullo, his Kaisa has been really good as Agony find themselves knocking down the Nexus towers, A secured, and they will go out for a bang, and now they will go to game 3 as we find ourselves Agony versus Eversio. The El Clasico goes to a game 3.
Big, well played to both teams, especially Agony here, destroying in the end. They're almost double the kill ratio. A bit taking their time, slow and steady. Yes, we lost Baron, don't worry. We're chilling, we're good, we're ahead. We find the flank, find the fight, finish the game. Well done to Agony. Eversio, go back to the drawing book, see if Nocturne was the pick here or if you want to change some things up. I'd love that Agony did not lose steam after game 1. They had it in them, they just picked some different champs here and overall executed it perfectly. I'm really excited to see this game 3. We are two happy casters. We wanted this. And yep, this game 3, if you like the last 2 games, I'm sure this game should be one that keeps you in your seats.
For sure, man. I mean, they made me lose my voice. So many Barons, so much fighting.
Don't steal that many Barons next time. He's losing his voice.
I cannot do this, man. Starforger, you're too good for me. But I think we'll soon might go for a pause. Until then, let's analyze a bit the game. We have someone in the background. Thank you for all the support. So, game. It didn't play out as expected. Agony had quite a lead. Should have won that a lot cleaner, in my opinion.
They're showing respect to Eversio, right? Eversio, was it like finished from draft? No, they could have poked out a bit, re-engaged, realized Nocturne to Kai'Sa, Kai'Sa is going to be a bit difficult for you, but in the end, a good couple of fights from Agony turned things around. This time we had quadra kill on their mid laner compared to the last game. The Darius ban was a good ban, but yep, I know both sides have picks they still have not shown, so I'm quite curious, excited, and well, I have no idea what we're going to have in store next game, but it's for sure not going to be 3 ADCs on one side, because this worked out so much better, right?
The team fight from this was so nice, and I love the direction Agony were headed into. It was so good. So let's see now how they decide to play the game, right? I'm excited to what draft 3 will consist of. I think both drafts were good, as you said. Both drafts had the potential to win, and it was a matter of team fighting where Agony did come on top, as we see.
Eversio showing a true display of hair skill. they definitely outranked their opponents in terms of hair quality for now. Yeah, they have the hair diff.
We see the one and only Starforger, the Nocturne that stole 2 Barons, single-handedly delaying the game so much. Crucial, those Baron steals with the Ziggs. This Nocturne pick, although
he's
perhaps
built different,
yeah,
for sure.
Perhaps it's not what they wanted, right? They wanted to burst down someone. They ended up with a perfect champion to steal the Barons. Unfortunate the way it ended for them, that even though they were able to steal away 2 of the Barons, they still find themselves at a loss. However, they fought hard, and now this match point, it's anyone's game, Yansin.
Well, in total here, I know that they're really going to think about their picks for sure, as we saw in the previous shot. They were all sat down next to Luka. They came in very confident. I hope they don't lose that confidence. Don't get nervous, don't buckle down. It's good. Both sides have very equal chance. We see here Awaken, Drakur in the back as well. Luka sitting and Forger on the left-hand side here. They are still deciding either the picks or what they're gonna eat. I think that's maybe more what I'm doing, but that pizza smells
Listen,
good.
the smell here from the caster booth, I can smell food, and I haven't had a good breakfast yet.
Ravenous.
So I'm like, listen, we're eating good though in terms of League of Legends. These games are pure content, and they're both like 40 plus almost game skill. Like, man, what more do you want if you're a League of Legends fan and you're just here for League of Legends? Like, this is exactly what you want. You love it. So now, I don't know.
Aurelian Soul was open for all these games, look.
For the people that don't know, the Starforger, the entire name of the Starforger is is like this Aurelian Soul, right? So we are getting word that we're gonna head for a break. So 6-minute break. We'll see you right there. The action, the match point. See you soon, guys. Bye bye.
Hasta la pasta. And we're still here. Break time, por favor. Hello. Hey.
Scissors.
Yeah.
Oh, we're back, guys.
Good.
We're back. Game
Welcome
3. So we already had a lot of exciting games. I think game 3 will be even more exciting. A lot of the line for both teams. We should be heading straight into draft.
Want to make a bet on the picks and bans?
Let's do it again.
All right.
Okay, I think from Agony, you don't change anything.
Yeah,
it
you
worked.
own Yasuo, Darius, right?
Yes, exactly.
And Eversio, Aurora, Skarner,
Skarner.
and
Either Wukong.
Instead of Ari,
Yeah, I think
right?
Wukong would be good, but
let's see. Or
Maybe.
Kaisa. Kaisa is
Yes.
also a good ban, I think.
also, Aurelion Soul ban is now on the table. If Eversio have picked red side, I would say. Because, you know, R4, Aurelion Soul, I think it's more of 4-5 ban. Let's see. Let's see.
If they do pick it, yeah, it has to be like there, right? We have to find a good comp for it. It's not like you can slot this Galactic Lizard into any comp for sure.
What side do you think Eversio went on?
Yeah, blue side? I don't know.
I would say red.
Red?
Red.
All right.
So, blue side, red side for that, and then
You're
when
gonna
it
win.
comes to bans, when it
For
comes
sure.
to bans, I think repeating bans from Agony, from Eversio, they might stick to it. I don't think the Wukong was that much of a problem. I think they just need to draft a bit differently, if I'm being honest.
But the Arya pick is like so random. I don't know.
I think it's a most most likely against mechanics. You know, it's like Iclos Darius, perhaps. I don't know.
He must be really good on that because his Syndra was quite good too.
No, the scatter of the
Right?
weeks from last game were insane. I might see a Syndra ban actually,
Maybe.
and especially Syndra ban if Eversio red
Versus
side.
the Flick Syndra too.
Yes,
Dakur does play it.
that's why I'm saying Syndra ban on the red side, and if they're blue side, Ari ban.
They are
Let's see.
banning, right?
I think
Aurora
we
ban.
are already in the draft. We're gonna get the visuals up for you
There we go.
right now.
Yawn.
And
Not
first
worry.
ban, correct.
Fix my eyeballs.
Eversio are on red side, so till now, all our predictions are correct
Yes,
as we
well.
get into this game. Let's see. We're winning these.
Skarner.
Skarner, most likely. Let's see. Maybe they're gonna bait us a bit and do Ari first. Let's
Marcel
see.
does play good Nunu, which is sort of pseudo Skarner as well. Ah,
Yeah. Skarner is just the better pick. His ult is so good. You can get 3 people in a game. You get engaged on. So till now,
I don't mean to
Same
say
ban.
we told you so, but we told you so, right?
let's see
Here?
if this is a Syndra ban. If I might be a Syndra
I go
ban.
Kaisa, okay?
Good.
see.
Let's see. It was the Ari ban, man.
Wow, it must be really scary, yeah, this Arya. I
Yes.
don't know.
Either they scrimmed them before,
Yeah, has
or
to be.
you know.
First pick Agony. Let's
First
see a lot of
time
options.
on blue
Probably
side.
Kaisa.
Yeah.
Might be a first pick priority they have, but let's
I
see.
mean, that Kai'Sa looks so strong.
That's what
I
they
think.
played against us.
Yes,
against me.
we do have someone, we didn't even say it yet, but
Yeah,
Yansin was in the semifinals of this, my co-host, so let's see.
Cassandra
We
first
see
pick, yes.
Cassandra first pick, understandable. You know, this guy can lane against most champions, very, like, fine. Very strong, perhaps crucial to why Agony won. They were playing this front to back, right? This team fight oriented comp.
We might
So,
get Syndra Kaisa being picked here as a retaliation.
it would be really good, I think. I think
Do you
it's,
think Awaken plays Kaisa?
I mean,
Ziggs is up.
Ziggs is up unless he's Awaken Ziggs. So, till now, not a lot changed. We see the players' stance, they're thinking, right? as
They need some DPS, right? The last game should have showed them that Cassandra was like an immovable object every fight.
perhaps
Is
it's
six
an
enough?
AD carry mid. I would assume like they decide to pick the Corki for themselves. Could be an option this time. Corki has made its way through,
6
so
seconds to make this pick. Jarvan, okay, makes sense.
I see.
Starforger Jarvan was strong during even all matches of UK EL.
For any of guys that don't know, Eversio are currently competing internationally, and this Jarvan pick has looked really
So
strong
here
for
we
them.
get like Kaisarel from Agony, right? Or if they're not confident about choosing their support, maybe like Kaisa Nunu or Kaisa some jungler, we'll see. Wukong up as well again, if they want to repeat.
Taking their time,
Poppy.
and we see this Poppy. So, I love Poppy in draft because it can be flexed 3 ways. It can be support, jungle, top lane. It's not top lane this time because Cassante's already picked, but it is potentially in both roles. And
What?
we do see what?
Okay.
Why is
If
there
they
Nar?
lock in Nar, this is weird.
Okay.
Okay,
No,
okay.
we got baited so hard. You never talk about hovers, and we do see the Sivir come through. I don't like it personally. I prefer the Kaisa,
Yep.
and also can run away from the Jarvan a
Especially
lot
for
easier.
Jarvan, like
Yeah.
Jarvan just jumps on Sivir later on.
And
Kaisa can peel, she can one-shot Jarvan as
she
well, I'm
can
pretty
poke,
sure.
you know.
Jarvan, one of his weaknesses is magic damage, usually, or high burst. You try to burst him before they engage.
And also with Kaisa
Sivir is going to be
itemization.
pushing up, so
Yeah.
Jarvan has a good flank. Oh, Camille with
Camille,
Jarvan, really
so,
good.
Two things I want to highlight. Camille into Cassante is usually very favorable for Camille, and it's a counter currently used in the world's meta to counter Cassante and top lane. If you blind pick Cassante, Camille can be picked into you and you're going to struggle a bit.
Eversio are risking it here with potentially Syndra and Lissandra or Galio bans. Doesn't leave a lot of options for Drakur to play.
We do see the Lulu getting banned out here, so the previous hover on the side of Agony might have scared them enough to ban away this Lulu. An Enchanter with Sivir is always really good. Perhaps Agony are saying, listen, Eversio are saying, listen, they already have enough engage. We don't need to give them any more engage. Or
Lulu
don't-
polymorph is really tough for Camille to dive as well. Lissandra ban, there's one pick. Might be a Galio ban, and
let's see.
at least Eversio have the next pick, so if like they're pushed into their last champ, they can pick it up. Not Agony picking up Syndra in that case. We still have support and mid for Eversio to be chosen.
And we don't know for Agony if it's mid and
support,
support
maybe,
or
yeah.
mid and jungle. So Leona Leona currently very strong, I think. Like her W is insanely strong early game and late game. She can deny a lot of damage just from the W. So amazing ban, I think that comes out through here. Also potential engage. And we do see the Galio pen.
Yeah.
You called it, Yansin. So now we are seeing the
Fair
smolder
enough.
haver, and let's see how this goes out.
I mean, you don't need to be a genius to play this champ, right? You can play
Nope.
small there.
We do see the Thalia, which would be nice, and the Syndra getting locked in by Awaken.
I go play Lottery, okay, BRB.
Yeah, you're really calling all of them out. So now
Agony,
it's
what do you pick?
Agony, right? You're sitting there, you're like, Syndra.
Also,
come-
Agony's mid doesn't have too much picks as well, right now as it is.
I mean, the mid pool is really like, oh, you have Yon, Yasuo, Ari, Syndra already picked out, Aurora as
What
well.
picks? What
So
picks?
many,
Sylas?
Galio. So many.
Potentially,
We
or
see the
Azir?
Azir,
Okay.
team fight champion. So, in regards of that, listen, respect. They're playing for their strength. They're playing
Do
for
we pick
team
jungle or
fights.
sap here? Let's see.
I
Probably
don't
support,
know.
right?
I want to say with no support pick though. Although Poppy, like if you're gonna play engage and bot lane,
Poppy
you know,
into double range is not fun.
it's not fun. We do see the move. So
What,
yeah, it's gonna be support.
But what? What do you mean? Could
So-
be anything.
Yeah,
Could even be a boat.
but don't you want engage on the side of Eversio or do you want an enchanter? Don't you? I think Rel here is what's gonna be picked. If I'm being honest,
Yeah,
it's either
Rel-
gonna be a
looks
Rel
like here too.
or not.
Rel might be tricky as well to play into Azir though. We'll see. Even into Poppy.
The sense the suspension as draft is getting
Alistair
locked.
could be good here.
Alistair also could be really good. We see this Seraphine
All right.
locked. So, interesting champion. Seraphine, very like strong in lane and also can provide a lot of sustain in team fights. She can heal a lot. And now we'll see how it goes, you know?
Yep.
So we have, I think, two really interesting drafts. Do you have any, preferences this time?
I don't know who's going to be, like, for example, Amumu and Cassante here have very easy outs with magic resist. It's literally only Jarvan and Camille that will be dealing damage, who would probably just go on Sivir, I guess. In terms of itemization, it's how you say, like, Agony frontline has it easy, just build magic resist, while Eversio frontline doesn't have it that easy. There's Azir poking you down, Sivir poking you down, disengage from Poppy. I don't want to jinx it, but I think Agony might have this in terms of their draft. It is Poppy support, by the way.
Yeah, makes sense. Not really. I think there you could have had the chance to
It's
center
going to be
jungle.
semi-impossible for Poppy to play this matchup, unless they lane swap. But
I doubt it, man. I doubt
we only
it
know
so
one
much.
team that did that, and look
Oh,
how
if
it ended.
only we had one of the people that lane swap sitting right next to me.
Ciao.
No, stay here. Yansin, what am I without you? What is CardonaCasts without the Yansin?
You're all the team fights, my friend. That's
It's just whenever there's action, there's talking, the analysis, nothing happens. And we're getting into the game. Now, we're in game. Now, this is a match point for both teams. Agony here trying to conquer their demons. They have found the previous game. Now they find themselves on blue side for the first time. Eversio now find themselves on red side. They need to prove that they're still the champions of Playcon. A lot on the stakes here. Let's see if the player nerves get to them. Let's see how this game turns out. Either way, this game is going to be filled with epic content.
It's going to be a snooze fest to start this one. I'm pretty sure. The 6 Sivir lane, okay, they're just going to be auto-pushing. Azir doesn't really want to do anything. That's really the only lane we might find some action is in mid lane. Then maybe post 6, we might find some action top lane, but we'll have to wait and see.
We do see perhaps Camille walking a bit too deep, will be spotted out by this Cassante. Perhaps for a deep ward goes down, trying to spot where the jungler will start, perhaps. But let's see. We do see a bit of just for now, chill lanes, nothing happening, quite chill. As expected, let's see how it goes. A bit of trades happening, nothing. As Yansin said, it's going to be a quite, I think, relaxed early game with nothing really happening at the start, with really, no 3 team has reason to fight. So for now, it's all relaxed. As, they keep out fighting, and for now, all good.
Yeah, it's going to be like bean chilling until we're 6. Potentially mid lane we'll find some action. As I said, with Amu, Jarvan, they both have gap closers against limited mobility champions. Azir does have the favor in that. He does have a short dash. Syndra can push someone away, but Amumu has that re-engage. Jarvan can only look to replicate that after 6. So I'm surprised that Sivir is pushing in Ziggs Seraphine here. One of the advantages Eversio have in lane is that they can poke this Poppy. But with thanks to Sivir's push, seems like it kind of negates the matchup entirely.
I mean, Sivir is the wave clear champion. If you want a champion that just can clear a wave and get you that push, it's gonna be the Sivir. However, she is spending a lot of her mana, and she will need to recall very soon. As actually both teams, I think, here will kind of look for a recall as their mana bars are low. Perhaps Poppy could look for a roam. We do see the Sivir decides to stay for now. We do see perhaps now a top side scuttle fight. But before we can actually pen to that, we do see Poppy engaging on the Seraphine. A good Ziggs W comes out to deny Severe the opportunity to get that kill. Azir will get away from this Jarvan. And nice attempt on the side of Agony to try and find the pick. Very good from Awaken to deny that.
I think both plays played really nice. Nice for Iconic to find that engage. Power caught off guard, but the 6 satchel charge throwing Sivir away just enough to not land that extra auto or two. We did get a sort of gank in mid lane as well, but Azir just dashes away.
Top lane is getting shafted into this Camille, and if you're Cassandra, you find yourself now in a weird position where you might have to overextend a bit to try and get this wave to crash. However, I think Starforger was spotted on the ward in the bot side of the jungle, so Cassandra will know he's safe to push this out. No real pressure, the only pressure coming out from this Camille. We see that while Camille is picked into Cassandra, she's winning out on the trades, using her passive to its maximum efficiency in trades, allowing her to gain a health advantage whenever trading out. The wave position currently perhaps could be frozen and would be a bit horrible for Cassandra. Cassandra will look for this recall and might lose some CS because of it.
Yeah. Something to note, Severe takes teleport here. For most people playing ADC, maybe it's not a common, but he realizes he's up against Ziggs Seraphine. He has tools to disengage, especially alongside Poppy. So the teleport will just match Ziggs' pressure, so he doesn't lose to that push, right? Both mana bars in bot lane are down, except for Poppy. They will need to reset soon. And potentially some jungle pressure might come in bot lane before the reset.
So perhaps Agony looked at their first game, looked at Sivir, said, you know what the problem was? Our Sivir was running Ghost. She could not be on the map to match the Ziggs. The Ziggs was running away with his teleport. No, Ziggs was banned in the first game, sorry. But the point stands in terms of side lane pressure. The Sivir now being able to answer additional waves. And her wave clear can just deny any threat of Eversio speciality in the side laning. So let's see now how this game turns out and if this teleport will be crucial. We do see Varsal starting out the grabs here. Starforger should spot him on it. Seraphine first to rotate, but also Poppy here. Let's see if something happens. Starforger decides, listen, if I go in, I'm gonna die. No need to go in.
Yeah. So, well done. Agony rotating quicker for the objective. Sivir and Ziggs left to answer each other's push. And meanwhile, here some action maybe in mid lane, as both Eversio jungle and support are stacking. Potentially thinking they can catch Poppy rotating here. An engage goes there, but Poppy just doubles his ult. It's gonna be a slow game until we get some ults and items and fight around these objectives.
Yeah, I mean there is like only Drake up, but most champions are still just sticking over to level 6, as we do have Jarvan not even level 6 and the Mumu not level 6. Two crucial ultimates which will determine a lot of the team fights, you know. So until that happens, it's just gonna be laning. I think we'll see our first blood perhaps around 12 minutes, I would say, around the either second drops or the second Drake fight. Dragon is up. I think Agony will not fight this. They realize, listen, we're not first to it. We got 3 grubs. We are trading grubs for Dragon. It's an okay trade for us, as Camille and Cassandra are trading out to very low health bars in this top side. Camille might be first off, as she has both a low health bar and a low mana bar, although Cassandra will look for the first base.
Yep. We're gonna be equal here for some time. Amumu just clearing all the way up into top. Looking for maybe first item on Azir or Amumu before we force an engage on Eversio's team. It's very hard to make any predictions as things are right now, right? But depends on how Agony play. They have maybe the better front line in this case. But the Seraphine is going to help in Eversio to get more HP in these fights. So it's kind of like a fake frontline thing when you're healing, right?
I think a lot of pressure on this game will be on both top laners in the sense that iGloss will have to find either Polo or Mechanics on the backline. Grandlands will need to eat a lot of the damage while also trying to dish enough damage and attract enough members on the side of Eversio. Mechanics also, his ultimate could be the game breaker or the game sealer for Agony, while Drakor could find an ultimate to just burst out one of the damage dealers on the side of Agony. As we see a dive potentially happening in top lane. Good Camille, like buffer coming through, Amumu with Camille Toad, both Jaifor and Camille ult at the same time, all out used from the side of Cassandra. Amumu will fall down here as First Blood is secured on the side of the Starforger.
Yeah, the dive a bit scuffed there. They almost got out thanks to Camille ult, but Camille living barely. The Cassandra ult goes out late, but doesn't get many rotations. Not much to say there. Good Poppy find. Trading support for support. We did lose Poppy Flash and Ziggs Flash at the same time, so at least Sivir still has that. Nice to see that Sivir has maintained the gold lead here. Usually Awaken is the one that's being ahead in these matchups, but Sivir just makes last hitting the wave so much easier, while Ziggs has to have last hitting under this tower for the whole game. Potentially a re-dive attempt, this time from Eversio against Agony.
Let's see if they commit to this. No, they're pushing the wave. They're allowing Camille to get the reset she needs. And until then, I think First Blood did come a bit earlier than I predicted. However, now the game, I think until Grub's fight happens, there shouldn't be anything happening on the map. For now, I think perhaps Azir here a bit caught out. Scatter of the Week does find him. The ultimate does not find the kill. Poppy here to collect the wave, not allow it to crash, and perhaps a crucial pick for Grubs for the side of Eversio.
Yeah, Eversio actually get these Grubs now. It's good. They don't lose 6 Grubs for them, as mid lane here getting so pressured. This Poppy is going to have a hard time doing anything into this ranged matchup. Sivir pressuring the 6 wave. It's going to be a bit different when 6 gets Ludin's Echo. But until then, Sivir's abilities are just built to shove this wave on repeat.
Even though the wave is crashing, it's not like Ziggs is losing a lot of tower damage or losing a lot of farm. It's only 10 CS down. It's not the end of the day. As Seraphine does force the flash, Varsal does not connect the Q, so it's just going to be a flash trade on the side of Prowell.
Yeah. Sivir also has Essence Reaver, not really going to run out of mana as she's poking down 6. It's although 6 doesn't lose plating, usually when you play the 6th lane, you kind of want it to take as much platings as early on as possible. As you can see here, Agony are sneaking behind Eversio.
We do see an Azurul 3-man charm on the side of Seraphine. However, there's just no follow-up, none at all. Starforger will find the pick back onto Varsal. And now this bot tower is going to be hit for free. Crucially, Drakor is also hitting the mid tower, so it's not like Eversio are losing. Eversio might actually be gaining gold from this play. It all depends just how much CS Agony and are able to lose, and that like interrupt from the side of the Starforger, crucial. Look at just how much Azir is bleeding. He's bleeding a lot of XP, bleeding a lot of gold, bleeding a lot of tower plates. Ziggs also teleports there. 10 minutes in the game, unleash teleport. They should be able to find the first tower, and this is Eversio playing at their maximum strength, understanding the map state like no other team, understanding that if you just get that cancel on Azir, you can find the mid outer turret.
This is what it means when 2 great teams fight off against each other. We can see a great play from Agony followed by a great play by Eversio. Next up is this Dragon. This is the time we have ults, TPs. A big fight might ensue. Amumu ult landing on Ziggs and Seraphine.
And now Amumu chasing deep. The Starforger will knock him up. Poppy ult will launch them all away. Now the Starforger a bit isolated as Sivir trying to get him. However, the Ziggs ult being used, trying to get enough space for this Jarvan. Scatter of the Week will find Azir. Azir will E into into the tower. Perhaps the nerves, but I don't know. Maybe he tried to find the jar for pick.
Yeah, with Jarvan being up now, they can definitely do Dragon. Eversio took down Amumu, which is, you know, the way they secure it. We see Jarvan already starting it. Syndra, Ziggs are rotating towards Dragon, Seraphine just behind them. Once again, no action in this top lane, but the bottom half of the map doing as best they can from both sides.
We do see second Drake here, just secured on the side of Eversio at just 14 minutes. Infernal Zone making its way onto the map. So a very crucial soul for any team here. Also a good Drake to stack. So you get two Drakes, two Infernal Drakes, still pretty strong in the terms of stats you give over. As Camille here might find herself a bit dived. Nice ult to buffer the Poppy a bit. Poppy might have to give her life for this. The Seraphine Charm will find Cassandra under the tower, will get tagged. Seraphine.
Yeah, that's Cassandra.
Did he just dodge the tower shot, or am I like?
Don't question it, bro.
I will not question it. I think that's just Cassandra doing Cassandra thing. Bro.
Nice dive there on Camille. Try to outplay the Poppy Sun with Camille ult. For those that don't know, ulting on Camille does make you invulnerable. For a few seconds, able to dodge damage, CC, etc.
We do see here Eversio perhaps prioritizing this Rift Herald as they rotate their bot lane onto this top side. So now they have a 4-man top side, they have the numbers advantage. Agony forced to give up this Rift Herald. If they do show up, they're gonna lose the team fight. And Agony not really using cross map to the best of their advantage. Syndra just sitting under tower, understanding. Listen, on weak side. No reason to die for now. Just gonna play it safe. Poppy will try and find some damage on her. Although I think Dracour should be safe. Good Poppy damage though coming through.
Yeah, that's a half health Syndra. What they did with that is that basically they're telling Syndra, if you stick around next to that tower, the next rotation is the end of you basically. So smart by Syndra to walk back, wait for Ziggs, clear that wave with the ult. Top lane, we're just handshaking at the moment. Some damage here, some damage there.
Top lane is just an island. You just play on your own, you smack each other, and then at the end of the day, one of you will win. But for the most of the laning phase, it's just being Cassandra and Camille just clashing, hitting each other, trying to get the better of each other in the trades. Both players are playing it extremely well, as we finally see the Starforger aiding a bit the top side with the Rift Herald. And let's see how Eversio uses Rift Herald to open up the top side. We do see Amumu Flash trying to get onto Seraphine. Seraphine will respect Flash, Amumu Flash. And this top tower now will be hit by the Rift Herald. Let's see if they're able to get it. It seems
that's so crazy.
Agony are able to defend, and Azir almost dies against the Syndra on bot lane in case you almost missed it. Rue does land on the Severe Charm, a lot of damage coming out from the Ziggs. Poppy ult completely whiffs, and Ziggs able to find a shutdown onto the Severe. Now Poppy might be the next one to fall, as Amumu here trying to cover for his support. A good satchel comes out from Ziggs, and a double kill for the Ziggs.
Amazingly played by Awaken and Prower there. They pretty much 2v2 their bot lane, as you can see. A great skill there by Ziggs to hold his satchel charge until when it was needed. Despite maybe some of you would have used it to finish Sivir off with her last remaining HP. He knew I need to keep satchel for the Amumu. If for those that didn't see it, he also dodged Amumu Q on the side. So he's playing at Ultra Instinct mode for sure. This used to be his ex-team as well. Awaken, the Ziggs used to play on Agony before he got benched. And as he said on interview that he would like to face them off in the finals just to crush them. And this game is exactly what is happening, right? He's 4-1 on Ziggs.
Azir will find the ultimate on the Syndra over Azir very low, will dodge the Q, keeps dodging, and in the end it's a 1-for-1 trade. But crucially, the kill goes onto this Poppy. As we were saying for Awaken, he really wanted to fight Agony here. And you know, when the stakes are this high, what better player to have on your team than to have a player who wants to smash the opponent into the ground, you know? We
That's
do find
exactly
now.
what they're doing. Dragon is coming up soon. I don't know why we're looking at top lane all along. It's just been 2 meat sticks hitting each other, but Dragon is where the action is at right now. Black Cleaver complete on Jarvan as well to help out with nobody's damage, but it is built. Gonna help him out for sure, and maybe Camille if they rotate.
So Eversio looking here to secure Soul Point. Cassante's tower very low. He will look to base, and I think Agony might pull the trigger on this. They might decide, listen, we'll lose top tower, it's fine, but we do need to find in this fight a dragon. There are no TP wards that are good for this Cassandra, however. Camille is still pushing on the side, now starting her recall. Eversio need to be a bit patient here. They wait for this Camille to base and teleport into this fight. We do see teleport being channeled in. The Star Forger trying to steal our very early smite. 3 people trapped into the pit. Poppy denies Camille the entrance. Amumu very low, will be targeted by the Camille. Amumu tries to find the Syndra. However, it's just till now. Amumu's dead. Iconic with 3 kills onto this Poppy. Fullu able to find the Seraphine. Severe very low. Cassandra half HP, Azir half HP, Jarvan also very low. Let's see if Eversio decides to go for the engage again. This time Azir goes forward with the ult, able to find the Star Forger and feeds him into the jaws of Agony. Now Agony running, finding, trying not to get poked down by the Ziggs. Another Q comes out. Agony being chased all the way back to their bottom tower. Let's see how many members stick around to defend this tower. Just clear the wave.
Yeah. What can I say? I mean, they played that fight sort of 4v5 because Jarvan was going in to try and get the steal again. I think they need to relax on that, especially when they're a bit more ahead. They did not get the smite steal, right? No.
No smite steal this time for the Star Forger. He smited it at 1.6. So Dragon was survived on 300 HP, and Amumu was able to smite him away. So for now, the game state is Agony are a bit behind. They want to wait for items. So until that happens, they're just gonna take it relax. They shouldn't be fighting for nothing. Perhaps try and get one of the towers, try and do some pressure, not lose any side towers. You need to respond to this Camille, who is pressuring this bottom tower. So Eversio using their side pressure to their utmost ability. Camille now forced back as she finds herself being chased down by more Agony members. Understandable. Again, for the time being, as long as no objectives are up, I don't expect a lot of fighting. This Baron is very hard to do for both teams. Perhaps a bit easier on the side of Agony, with Azir Sivir able to burst it down that bit more, and with the against the Ziggs and Syndra, very slow Baron. So if Eversio ever decide to do this Baron, it's gonna take them some time to do it. So that's why Baron is not even being started by Eversio. They don't have this Baron threat at all at the moment, even though they find themselves in a 2k advantage.
So for now, both teams, they can't really win through a push. It has to be through getting a pick or diving, both with Severe and Ziggs on both sides. It's going to be hard to lane. Camille goes in there, 3v1 right now. He didn't know that, of course, but this does lead to Agony finally finishing off that bot lane turret. Baron is being called for double TP, Syndra TP at least, and Camille is going to base. He does not have TP. But yeah, Baron being disengaged right now, not really much happening from it.
Yeah, we saw an attempted Baron there from the side of Eversio. Syndra TP is committed there. However, Agony just called the bluff. Listen, you don't have the Baron damage at the moment to do the Baron. If you do, we're going to get your mid tower. We're still going to be in time to then rotate to that Baron, fight you for it. You need to also combat your top laner doesn't have teleport, and you're not going to fight this, right? So
we are now without Syndra TP, and we send her bot lane to catch the wave. If Azir has TP, which he does, he can match her. Potentially starting a fight around Baron here for Agony could be in the cards. If they see Syndra showing on the map here, let's see.
Syndra is playing this smartly, staying into the fog of war as much as possible. only showing herself once Ziggs has already started hitting this mid-wave, so that Agony find themselves in a scenario where it is really hard for them to get the push, rotate to Baron, and look to get this Baron started. So for the time being, again, Dragon up in 36 seconds, should be the next fight. Eversio could give it up perhaps for some Baron pressure. It's only Agony's second Draken, so it's not that important. However, Eversio couldn't find themselves on soul point, so a big decision to be made here. We're back to top side, back to this brawl. He might be able to chunk out this Camille, and if he does, would be crucial for the next Dragon fight.
He doesn't have Iceborne Gauntlet, opting to go a bit more tankier here. His team does need a front line for Azir and Sivir to get their damage across. I would like to think, that Agony do have a bit more of a better team fight in this case. But Eversio have better picks, so let's see.
Let's see how it goes. This Cassante currently full MR against 3 members of Eversio's AP champions. Dragon being fought around it, currently leashed out, will look to reset. So until now, Eversio pulling off for a Dragon, perhaps trying to get mid lane priority. Now, Agony hitting, perhaps another steal from this Jarvan, this time secured by the one and only Pullu. Now, good 3-man charm comes through. Starforger will look for an engage, 3 people in the Jarvan ult. Till now, the fight might calm down. A lot of just damage, poke being thrown around, but no real fighting will happen. At the end of the day, the Starforger will die, and the Infernal Drake is secured for Agony as Cassante does Cassante things, and solo kills Camille.
Amazing. Cassante pretty much pressing W and taking half the health of Camille in true damage as well, nonetheless. Something they should have looked out for, right? Jarvan being sent to steal every single player.
And Cassante here might be caught out as Poppy comes to bail him out, but Cassante says, "You think I'm in danger? Don't call an ambulance for me, you're the ones that need it." However, Poppy does fall down. Let's see if Agony decide to chase this as a teleport from Cassante comes out. Now, Eversio found themselves in this weird position. Severe free hitting on the Ziggs. Blastcon will split them into 2. A fight on Ziggs and a fight with Cassante. Ziggs will be the first to fall. Cassante very low HP. Severe looking to fight. Azir also
Big
here.
ult.
We'll find the 2-man ult. And now we'll find the double kill. And possibly this is what Agony wanted, to now have a Baron angle to open up this game.
I'm feeling better about myself, you know, at least my team lost to what potentially could be this tournament's winners. Oh.
As you say that the Starforger will perhaps try to deny Baron by killing the jungler. Now Amumu was dead. Perhaps the jungle option.
She could definitely get this kill. Azir DPS is so much. 0 resistances from Camille. Ravenous Hydra second item there. They do finish it off, and Agony are right in that sweet spot. Their comp is out damaging them. They have good kills on their frontline and backline units. Severe 3 items. The DPS from Eversio is just not there, right? Usually maybe they're used to Yone, to Yasuo, but since those champions are taken away and they're going with Ziggs, Seraphine and bot, they're not finding the smoke. They're not finding like easy DPS when they catch someone out. Even Severe almost survived like a whole combo from Seraphine Ziggs, and that's their weakest like tanky unit. I don't know how you solve this, but I don't want to see Jarvan suiciding every single time he goes into this objective, right? I want to see him take it a bit slower, maybe find the pick, use the ult for the pick, not necessarily always looking to steal.
I don't mind.
Even Ziggs ult we're using on those fights, right?
I think the pick I don't mind that much, because you deny Agony the opportunity to do Baron perhaps by killing off the Amumu, and Camille also finding them joining the fight. However, you do lose your mid tower for it, and now Agony all of a sudden went from like 3 gold behind, 3k gold, to now being almost a k and a half up in gold. So they find themselves in a really good position, especially with their Sivir, with the 3 items completed. Cassante soon looking to complete his 3rd item. This Amumu also halfway to his 3rd item. crucial power spikes that will come through here is whenever Azir completes this Rabadons, this Azir damage will just snowball. So let's see how the next team fight will turn out. Will Azir manage to have this crucial item for the team fight? Now, Baron is up and both teams have 2 Drakes. If you're Eversio or Agony, which are you prioritizing? Do you prioritize Baron or do you try and go for Soul Point?
Eversio really need to think about how they approach these fights, right? They either find someone from Agony and burst them with Syndra, Jarvan, Camille. They have the tools, but Agony not really leaving that many openings as well. So if they don't find that pick, Agony should have a very easy team fight in every single one of these games they're fighting.
Yeah,
Good
I
damage,
agree.
good CC, you know.
I agree.
okay.
Agony should be the one leading in the team fight sector. However, a good Seraphine ult and a good Jarvan ult could be the game changer. Eversio does have the tools to find picks, and if good picks are found, Eversio are still in this game. It's not a done deal game. This Azir could be problematic. He's been using his wall exceptionally well. So let's see how they decide to fight around this dragon that spawns in 8
Oh
seconds.
no, Cassante is out of position. We used 7 abilities on him and removed kinetic. That's it.
That is Cassante.
He gets engaged upon. Oh no.
Look at that aggressive parking. Look,
It's
he
just
just goes
laughable.
unstoppable. He's stunned again. He's still alive.
Wow,
Poor people.
what a champion.
He goes all out. He's still
alive,
on
by
the
the way.
side. Cassante. Now
What a
Azir
champ.
will find Seraphine on the side. Amumu will hit 3 Eversio members now stuck in place. Azir with his double kill. Seraphine trying to run away from the Mumu. Ziggs trying to clear the mid wave. Cassante, they thought they found the pick. Eversio thought they found it. But no, Cassante just says, haha, I'm a meat shield. I'm gonna eat that for breakfast, lunch, dinner 3 times over. I don't know how many times as Camille will try and find the pick, but Poppy will nice says she will try to ult her away. The ult whiffs. Azir will go and give to Ziggs this
Big shutdown on 6. Poppy Flash EQ finishes that off. A 6 for Azir. In terms of tempo, it's fine, but
I mean, if you're Eversio, at least you say that like Poppy has 4 kills, as we have more fighting going on, as this Camille is perhaps a bit overextended, gifting another kill to Pullu. Flash for Flash comes out. Seraphine here trying to survive. Severe will call it off. Listen, I don't have to chase the support. And the end of the game, League of Legends is not a game of kills, it's a game of objectives as they rotate to Baron.
I hope they're not losing patience on this, okay? That engage 1v3 and we used Flash for it and stuff, you know. Was it really weird? There's Amumu, Poppy, so much CC. Can you really hit that? Agony now finding the opportunity to go to Baron, realizing Camille being down is actually pretty big for Eversio, but classic Agony, taking it slow, nice and easy. We don't want to rush things, which is fair enough.
It makes sense, especially maybe they're a bit traumatized from the last game. Starforger is there. Your Poppy is half HP, she cannot really peel for you that much. If this Jarvan finds a way into the pit, it's a 50-50. And the games have shown us it's more like an 80-20 for the side of Eversio, right? So Agony, playing it smart, I want to say, listen, they're on Soul Point. They don't have to rush. For all that I care about, they could trade Soul for Baron, and they're still going to have the advantage. A Soul is a permanent buff. It's Infernal Soul. It's 3 Infernal Drakes, could make it 4. That's so much damage on the side of Agony. Even this Poppy, I will say, will start dishing out a decent amount of damage to the carries. So, now, Eversio are trying to set up for Baron. Let's see how Agony will react to that.
No, not much. By what we see, it's just going to be a bit of back and forth waves, right? I think both sides don't really want to fight. Eversio, hopefully by now we realize that we don't really win these fights. And Agony realize as well, we don't need to rush these fights, right? So we're going to have some time off right now before the next thing. But Eversio pulled the trigger on Baron.
They're first to Baron.
It is not worded. Camille and Jarvan are doing it secretly because they jumped over Scuttle.
and they might be able to sneak away the Baron.
Oh,
'cause-
yeah, this is totally gonna get down.
Well,
No one
Agony
knows
even
about it
realized.
on the side of Agony.
Nope.
Eversio,
None at
like I
all.
said, they always find these hidden gems in the map, managing to take a
I
bit,
think
a
only
bit
now
more
do
gold.
Agony realize they're doing
it's too
Baron
late.
as Cassandra face checks. They realize it's too late. Now, Eversio have Baron. Will decide to fight this or will decide to run away. Seraphim over completely whip, only hitting Azir. Camille trying to find the engage on the Azir. Good wall comes out. However, 2 kills on the side of Eversio. This Pullu is found the double kill. Now, Ziggs trapped in the pit. And even though they found the Baron, crucially, Agony here will find the ace. Is it game? It could be, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, we have 35 seconds on Camille and 35 seconds on the Star Forger.
They're just
Midwave,
dumping too much on Cassante, aren't they?
midwave is available. They're gonna run it down. They have Severe. Amumu taking a lot of damage. It is Amumu dies to the tower. It's gonna be insane. However, he survives. Now, with 3 grubs, trying to keep the wave alive. 15 seconds on Igloth. I don't think they have enough to end it. However, it should just be enough to get this inhibitor, reset, and look for a Drake fight, and look to get soul.
Beautifully played by Agony, taking their time, not rushing things. They have objectives, they have the lead. Great overall experience if you're them. There's not much to say for Eversio. It is kind of bleeding out slowly. 4 items on Sivir, gonna probably make it 5. 6 yet again. Awaken, great job with his farming. He does have full items. He's been like that for a while actually. But it's still not finding this difference in these fights. I think they're just putting too much on Cassante. By the time he dies, so many cooldowns are down. They're like at around half health. Re-engage from Amumu, Sivirals, you know, it's very hard for Eversio to play like that if they're just dumping it all on Cassante, right? So they're trying to control the mid-wave here. This gives them the control over Dragon, but as you can see, Azir is shoving the bot lane. Agony might look to get this bot tier 2, or potentially a flank here from Azir. This could be it, guys. This could be the last fight.
Let's see.
Let's
Azir
see.
is spotted by the Camille. Amumu flash will find Sport. Azir men
Oh
will find
my
them all.
gosh.
And Eversio right now find themselves in a horrible situation. Till now, only Seraphim falling. Flash is being blown out everywhere. Drakor and Prower are dead. 2 members crucially dead on the side of Eversio. With Dragon up, this should be soul for Agony. What an engage from Amumu that our Flash finds for. Follow up with Mechanics ulti. Insane, man.
Link, and you miss it. Well done by Varsal finding that engage there for his team. I see Camille this time did try to prioritize going on the Azir, but was not given the chance. Azir might even be in a spot to DPS him down, actually, given how strong he is in this game. Again, take it nice and slow. We got the objective. Got Dragon tier 2 tower. Again, resetting, not really looking to push their advantage any further than they need. Get those items, go back maybe here. We push top tier 2 before Baron, which is in the next 3 minutes. Maybe that's the play before ending this game.
I think they will.
Yeah, I can only see Agony losing this if they send someone, not Cassante, out of position, and Eversio managed to find the pick on that before the fight.
Yeah, an ace here would be what Eversio need to win. It's the tables are the tables. I'm sorry, everything is stacked against Eversio at the moment. It seems like Agony have the better team fight comp. They are winning it out. This Ziggs pick really good at side lane pressure, really good at poking out. But once you've been engaged on, there's nothing much you can really do. Now, I think Agony are waiting for their crucial flashes. That Azir flash is crucial for the previous engage. That Amumu flash was also crucial. They have Inferno Soul. Yes, they could be pushing right now, but I think the smart and safe call is play it slowly. If someone someone gets picked, it's fine. We're just gonna play it slowly. We're gonna wait for our flashes. We're gonna do one more big team fight. We've been winning every single team fight. Let's win the way we've been winning, right? This is how it works. If you're Agony, you're thinking, next team fight, we win the game.
Yep. 1 minute 30 to the next Baron. That's going to be the big difference. Oh, That's rest in peace.
We do see
Aglos.
Cassandra ult into this Camille. Camille caught out here. Now, Azir ult will find two, and Ziggs and Seraphine found themselves in some very awkward position. Seraphine ult will go through, will not take this Azir, and very good ult forces out a lot of abilities from the side of Eversio, and they have a 40-second window where Agony
Their
have
coordination is just exceptional, honestly. Just even the fact that they could foresee, like Azir can engage here, use Zonia's until the rest come. It's all been communicated and planned. Wow, it's just great work. We see Agony support soloing Eversio mid laner.
I told you,
Yikes.
listen, this Poppy is on a rampage. See, 7 kills, this Poppy is fed. And now
tank, by
Amumu
the
will
way.
find the Seraphine. Support and mid lane down. Azir TPing in. It seems like Agony are calling it. Listen, we're about to end the game. This is the siege that will determine the Playcon finals. Camille trying to find something in the back line. Jarvan also there trying to assist. Ziggs needs to clear the wave as fast as possible. But Agony decide, listen, it's not time yet. We want to play it safe. We have Nash spawning. Why would we fight when we can just get a clean objective? We do see here, perhaps they were thinking of stacking in that bush, but they decide against it. Now, Agony will find themselves starting this Nash. Star Forger has stolen Baron twice in the previous games. Will be able to do this. He finds himself in the split, but Amumu this time crucially able to get it.
What's
However,
he playing? League of Legends or League of Smite Steals?
he almost
The
did
past
it.
3
though.
objectives still.
He
It was
almost did
close,
it.
it was close.
I
it's
mean,
true.
listen, I liked how Eversio played it. They shoved off mid-wave. They need to last this Baron, right? If you're Eversio, you understand, listen, we cannot fight it right now. We're just going to get Star Forger, shove mid. They cannot end until the Star Forger respawns, right? So for now, it's good. We are in a very good situation where like we made the best out of the worst. If they didn't shove this mid, that they were to be hitting the next turret. Now, Camille coming back. They have a 15-second window where Starfarger is not here. Now, hitting the inhibitor. Only 1 minion and a cannon minion alive. Amumu will go on to the Seraphine. Now, Poppy will engage the Seraphine. It's knocked into
Severe
place,
is down.
but will survive. Severe is down. Azir under the turret. And I think this is the fight that Eversio wanted. Now, Camille will chase down this Poppy. Poppy will use her ability to deny that. Jarvan chasing. And perhaps
Brilliant.
two crucial main members down on the side of Agony. Your 2 DPS are down. Will Eversio look to end the game?
Nah. So
I think
this
they
is-
might.
Nah. Agony did seem a bit unstoppable until then, but this is the crucial way they lose these fights. This is Sivir and Azir are
I
dead.
think they're ending the game with 30 seconds on both carries. I think here Cassandra will try and get the wave. He understands, listen, if this wave makes us on Nexus Towers, we're gonna lose. He goes all out on this Syndra, this Cassandra, so unkillable. Only the cannon minion alive. This Poppy is dominating as Cassandra
What a champion!
is doing
200
Cassandra
years!
things. And
200
now
years!
He is fighting against everyone. He kills, he takes
What
a
a
2v4
champion, well played.
and gets two with him. Oh my God, this
Yikes.
Cassandra. It's not only the fact it's 200 years, it's the fact that most of the Eversio's damage is AP, and this Cassandra is full MR. Elder Drake is alive. You know, this time, it's the only thing I think you can do is play for the Steed. However, Agony are playing without Cassandra. So this game feels so tense. Do one wrong step and you will lose the game. The game feels that close. However, this time, Eversio nowhere near this Elder Dragon. Agony picking up this objective, sending us into a 42-minute, full-on 54 kills content game, and hopefully with this Elder Soul, the game should be determined for the side of Agony.
Yep, let's try that again. Agony, okay, this time let's make sure Sivir doesn't get Ziggs bombed, and Azir try to avoid towers, okay? We're good to go.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how Azir found himself under the tower.
Sivir was like instantly taken away from that fight. Ziggs bomb on her, boom, disappeared. So 0 DPS coming out. for all that CC. Finding maybe Agios on the bot lane. He does E back. Yep.
We do see Locket of Iron Sorari here on this Jarvan realizing, listen, I've got to keep my carries alive. That's my role. He even used the elixir early, you know, like without having full items. Syndra will find the stun. Ziggs clear is insane. Eversio till now not struggling at all to clear this.
They want to stall this Elder Drake, right? They can take a fight here because it's for sure going to be Agony favored. Big execute from that dragon.
I think here you might have to give this bottom tower to buy just a bit of time and fight under your Nexus towers. Agony will decide to push this. They don't think they have the waves. Next super wave coming soon in the base. I think Under Dragon will wear out in the next wave or two. Poppywood will come out, will trigger the spell sheet of Seraphine. In the meantime, this wave is walking forward. Good wave clear coming out from the side of Eversio. Cassandra is the only one rooted from the Seraphine. Azir is fighting in the back line. In the meantime, Seraphine would also use Severe, triggering her own ult to dodge that. The Nexus towers are getting siege. Scatter of the Week will find Azir. Azir will go into status, and this might just be game as they're just fighting. Azirud will find the Jarvan. Jarvan will be the first to call as this Poppy is godlike. Now, Nexus towers being targeting. Only thing alive is the Nexus. I think this is game as Camille, the only one alive, alongside with this Syndra, this Severe, just hitting the Nexus, and Agony have thrown Eversio into Agony. They have defeated their demons. Finally, they were able to conquer their demons in finals, and now Agony should stand proud because they've just bested Malta's Titans.
Amazing. They got their revenge from the last event. Well done to Agony. Beautifully played macro. All in all, they played great as a team. Followed each other up. Good picks in general. Well, when you do that, you can't blame them. Huh? They do deserve this position. Well played to Eversio for making it to our second position here. Maybe next Playcon we'll see the reverse of what happened this Playcon, right? Maybe.
Let's see.
Time for Eversio to get their revenge. So these two teams are constantly back and forth. Who wins it? This time, Agony do take it. Hopefully, who knows, maybe in the meantime, some other teams prop up that disrupt this flow. But until then, this has been a very classic League of Legends Malta day.
I think we were greeted today to some really good League of Legends. Every game was so entertaining. Every game was so close. It was so fun to watch these players play at their maximum level, maximum stakes on the board. And what better result could you want? Very close game 3, very close game 2, very close game 1. It was a 3-game series filled with the best content Playcon could ever wish for.
All right, we'll give it back to the caster. Right?
I think the host is on standby,
yes.
And we'll leave it to the host.
Oh, yes, I am. So thank you very much. Thank you very much, Yansin. Thank you very much, CardonaCasts. And just like that, we have a winner for the Malta Madness League of Legends. So I'm going to be asking Ivan Filetti from Gaming Malta, who is coming over with one big check, which we will be presenting to the winners. Ivan making his way to the stage. And please, with the audience, let's please welcome to the front of the stage, and with a massive round of applause, our winners, Agony! Ladies and gentlemen, these are your winners, the Malta Madness League of Legends. They walk away with 800 euros as our champions. Our runners-up, Eversio, will not be walking away empty-handed. They too get a 600 euro prize. And just like that, this brings us to the end of Malta Legends, of Malta Madness League of Legends. Now we'll get ready, because in a few short minutes we'll get going with Rocket League. So please don't go anywhere, hang around. There's a lot more action on this very stage happening very, very soon. All right. Check. Hey.